Hey guys, this is the WalterFootball.com After Dark show for January 5th, 2024. Going to be doing the Week 18 NFL picks against the spread, the Thursday Thoughts edition for the 2023 NFL season. Joined once again by QuackyTakes with Tom. How are you, Tom?
How's it going, Walter? Hey, I'm excited for the show tonight. Can you believe it's already the last week of the season? But I'm hoping the Walter football family, the regulars, are going to be on here tonight. I've been loving the banter, everybody. Especially I've been bantering with. I got to shout out Charles Darwin 180 for the banter in the comments. I've I've only been on the show Thursday nights, maybe not even half the season, but it's been and I'll be on for the playoff games too. But it's just been so much fun. So I just wanted to shout out to all the viewers that come by every Thursday, having a great time. And I can't believe it's week 18 already, man.
I can't believe it either. It's pretty shocking, actually. It felt weird to say 2024 as well. It's kind of like a mouthful. I don't know. It's going to take a little bit to get used to it. We were going to do an earlier show tonight, like starting at 10:30, because there was no game on. But there's actually a game on that we missed that we had to cover. So hope everyone won their bets tonight on the Thursday night game. Just kidding. There was no game. It's kind of not that long of a story, but. Well, what happened was not that I make excuses, but I cracked my tooth actually on Christmas, and I couldn't see my dentist because they were out of the dentist's office for the week of Christmas. So I finally got an appointment to get it fixed today, and it was in the morning. It's like the first time I could see the dentist. It's like the only time she had. So I had like 2 hours of sleep. So I went in. Got some bad news on the tooth, and like she's like, yeah, might need a root canal, but she's like, I can fix it up right now, and so she did, and like it was like by the time she was done, I was in so much pain. I was like, this is horrible. And she's like, yeah, take 3, maybe even 4 Motrin when you get home, and then do it again 8 hours later, and then do it again 8 hours later. If it's still really bad, we can schedule an emergency root canal. And so I did that. I was in pain the whole day, like playing with my son. It's like such agonizing, like throbbing pain in my cheek. And then at 8 o'clock, I was able to take 4 more Motrin. And so like I'm like souped up on this Motrin. I was so tired. And I was like, and my daughter wouldn't go to sleep on time. And so she finally went to bed at like 9:45. I'm like, all right, I can sleep for a half hour. So what I did was I took a nap on the couch. I put my phone behind my laptop. So I would wake up, and like sometimes if it's right there, I'll just turn it off and just, whatever. I'll just keep sleeping. But I put behind my laptop. So I'll know to wake up. And I did that, and then like the next thing I know, it's 11. Like I wake up and like I'm like, crap, it's 11:50. My phone is under me somehow. I don't know how. Like and like I see that you called and texted and like oh my god, this sucks. So I was looking forward to doing a show early, so it just
and here we are at the same time and place. Yeah, I even had to text Walter's wife. I was worried. So, but I'm glad. I figured you just needed some rest, man. I didn't know about the tooth though, so sorry to hear about that.
Well, whatever. It actually feels not bad now, so hopefully I don't need the root canal. But we got 4 hours until I have to take the medication again, so it could get bad, but I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, we're here to do the Week 18 NFL Picks show. Looking forward to it. I know. You told me that you're excited for this week, so can't wait to hear what kind of quacky takes we get this week. That's Mike. Hey, Mike.
Hey, what's up, Mike?
Yeah,
Matthias, how's it going, man?
Matthias says, Walt, who you got for your survivor pick this week? Let me pull that up in a second. I'll get that for you in 1 second. Winfield says, waiting on notification for what? Just let me know. John says, alternate Tylenol with Advil every 2 hours. Every 2 hours or every 4? Because like I have to take this every 8 hours. But it might be like you're not the first person to tell me that, so maybe I'll do that. Okay, so because I know like Tylenol and Advil are different, but I don't know if like I guess Tylenol and Motrin are different too. Anyway, all right, let me get to the survivor pick. I'll get to the survivor pick when we talk about the first show. Never mind, I'm not a doctor. You can identify as a doctor all you want.
Yeah, well, definitely Google if you're going to make any change before you.
Yeah. Well, I've always said that I identify as doctor, so I think it's okay. Just kidding.
No, I trust Dr. Sanders over here too. So
yeah, me too. Alex is sorry to hear about your tooth. However, excited to read a potential jerks of the week article about it. Yeah. There could be. So I mean, but that was the extent of it. But it was pretty bad. Like just I was in such pain the whole day. It was the worst. But anyway, thanks guys for joining us. And please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. All that would be appreciated. If you really want to help support the show, please hit subscribe, because we are now, I think, we are 84 shy of 4,000. Yeah, 84 shy of 4,000. I wanted to get to 4,000 by the Super Bowl. So, but please help us get us there. You can always ask Dr. Quack, see Dr. Quack.
I don't know if I trust. If his medical advice is as good as his picks, I don't know. It's like 50-50 recently.
John says, I've had a lot of teeth problems. I don't rotate Tylenol with Advil, and I'm in a lot of pain. Yeah, I mean, like you said, like you're not the first person to tell me that, because it makes sense. Yeah, also, I mean, we have super chats. You really, really want to help support the show. It's January, which means it's Q1, which is it stands for Q1 in advertising, and that's when where ads are lowest. And I said before that we make almost nothing. Like now we really, really make almost nothing. It's like from $4.50 a show to like $1. Like so, it's pretty bad. So if you guys really want to help support the show, please please help us with the super chats. We'll read your comments. We'll stop what we're doing and read your comments. And even though we do that anyway, but if you just really want to help us out. So all right, we have 16
like
games.
The painkillers are kicking in there, stuttering Stanley. I'm sorry, I'm just messing with you, man.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Cal?
Yeah. So anyway, we have 16 games to get to for the first time instead of 15, because usually there's one game that we get to pass on Thursday. But so the first time, you can imagine an actual doctor named Dr. Quack.
It's got to be one. It's a non-zero number, I feel like, Mike.
Yeah, I feel like you might be the best doctor. Just like if your last name is Quack, like you really have to work hard to be a good doctor. I think it's just if there's ever a quarterback.
I would go to Dr. Quack, actually, because I think that a Dr. Quack would do whatever it took to make sure that there was no. So I'm on board with it, Mike. I'm sorry. We can get to the football here in a second. Don't mind us.
If there's ever a quarterback named like Billy Interceptions, he might be like the best quarterback of all time. All right. The first game is in the first game of the final divorce package of the year. The Steelers at the Ravens. This line is Steelers -4. I've had trouble with this one. Jacob was more. He had more conviction on this game. He liked the Ravens. I'm on the Steelers, I guess, just because like the Steelers are going to be playing their starters. It's a matter of like are you going to take the Steelers at -4, which is a bad number, or are you going to take the Baltimore backups at +4? And it's no given that the Steelers are going to cover anything. Obviously, like the sportsbooks aren't going to give out free money. And so, like, I could see the case for taking Baltimore -4, Baltimore +4, because it is Mason Rudolph, it is the Steelers. Like, they have issues blocking. Like, they can be beaten, obviously, and they could choke under pressure too. This is not quite no Nomo game, as we'll get to. But at the same time, they could choke under pressure, and we've actually seen this scenario happen before. But I'm still on the Steelers. I like where they're going with Mason Rudolph. But I'm not going to bet this game. This is like one of my least favorite games of the week. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, you were mentioning Billy Interception. That's William Interception to you there.
Right.
No, but I like the Ravens here, but I'm not gonna touch this game. But I do like the Ravens, actually. I mean, I know that there have been blowouts between these two teams over the years, but these games always tend to be close, even if the Ravens are going to be playing their backups. I mean, let's look at this Steelers team. Really, I mean, they're to me, like, they're the poster child for inconsistent. Now I'm messing up with my words. Inconsistency. And don't forget, like, this Steelers team, just a month ago, they lost to the Cardinals. They lost to the Patriots. Like, there's this. They just haven't. And while they have, like, against the Bengals, that was a really good showing, especially on the offensive side of it, of the ball. But I got to side with the Ravens here, just given how inconsistent this Steelers team can be. At +4, a lot of times these games are close. Not going to touch this game, but I'll take the Ravens here, Walt. Hey, Dr. Sanders, thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much, John. Buy some Tylenol at $5. These days with prices, I might be able to buy like a Tylenol pill. But it's thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's just like I said, they're like these YouTube ads pay like absolutely nothing right now. It's like it's kind of a joke, like how bad it is. But yeah, thanks so much for the super chat.
It, John.
Yeah, really do appreciate it. And thanks so much for always commenting on these shows.
Sure.
It's like a group of you guys who are always in here, and we really appreciate you guys. We got an awesome look at this $20 super chat.
Alan, thank you
so much, Alan. It's awesome. Hey, Walt, not sure if my name is familiar, but I've been following your page for as long as I can recall, maybe 20 years by now. Great content. What do you think about your December pick of the month now that it's January? So yeah, I think I have my December pick of the month. Which confused some people because they're like, wait, it's January, but actually I haven't used it yet. I was kind of sad I didn't use it last week against with the Cardinals against the Eagles. I love the Cardinals. The only hang up I had was like Kyler Murray was DMP limited all week, and I'm like, is he gonna play? Like, is he not gonna be 100%? Like that was my issue there. But I loved Arizona last week, and I'm kind of sad. Obviously hindsight's 50-50 is the great Cam Newton once said. But yeah, I wish I used it then. But I do love one game this week, and I really like a couple others too. So I think we're gonna get to that. And maybe you can give me your thoughts on what we decide. But yeah, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Alan. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Kel says not sure if Rudolph can lead the sleigh into the playoffs. Yeah. Nice one.
Oh, that's good.
It's a good one. Yeah. I trust him way more than Trubisky though. And like those losses you mentioned, Tom, like those were with Trubisky and not Rudolph. And like Rudolph at least takes care of the ball. Granted, it's a small sample size and he could implode it at any moment for sure. But I do like somewhat trust the Steelers with Rudolph.
Matthias said, give me the Pro Bowl QB Huntley with 4 points. Yeah, I'm with you. Hey, wasn't it just it was the 21-22 season? Wasn't Huntley starting when they covered against the Aaron Rodgers Packers? If Huntley's not bad for sure. I like the Ravens. Maybe I will go a unit on the Ravens. Okay. At first I looked at this game and I didn't think I was going to touch it. Now I don't know. We'll see by Sunday.
And you do have the dynamic of Mike Tomlin. You bet him as an underdog, and you fade him as a favorite. Like 4-point favorite on the road. Like it doesn't seem right? Like I don't know. I do trust the Steelers team a little bit more than I have in the past. I think I don't know. I think it's just Rudolph being like this calming presence, and like the fact that they trusted him to throw at the end of that Seattle game, like when they could have just run out the clock. I don't know. I feel like they have some moxie to them that they haven't in the past. I don't know. Like I said, they could implode for sure. So Reddit says, I don't know. There's a law firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe that you can consult if you're misdiagnosed by Dr. Quack.
Dude, you guys are slinging the funny. I'm loving it.
Yeah. By the way, this is my survivor pick, Matthiasen. I'm on the Steelers. It's the best option. Best option we have, I guess, but there's not much else left. All right. Anyway, we have the other game in the final divorce package of the year. It's Texans at the Colts. The Colts were favored. Now the Texans are favored. I like this matchup for Houston a little bit, just because I think that the Houston's run defense should dictate how this game goes. Because the Colts really want to run with Jonathan Taylor. They won't be able to do that as effectively, which means Gardner Minshew's going to have to throw more, which means, he could implode with turnovers. We've seen that before. Like he's been better recently, but he's had some very ugly games this year, particularly against the Jaguars, the second Jaguar game where he just had a huge meltdown with in fact, the Jaguars were outgained by the Colts in that game. But the Colts got blown out because Minshew just threw so many turnovers. And I think he had like 3 interceptions and 2 lost fumbles or something like that. It was very ugly. And I could see the same thing happening here. And I think that CJ Stroud being in his second game back from a concussion, I think he'll be better this week than he was last week. So I'm inclined to take the Texans. I don't love this. I might bet a unit or 2 on it. I currently have 2 units down. But like the fact that there's so much public money on Houston kind of scares me a bit. What do you think?
Yes, Teddy KGB and Rounder says, hanging around. This Indianapolis, it's like, like I turned around and it's like, I can't believe this team is in playoff contention like a couple weeks ago. They're always like, I don't know. This is a team that I haven't really gotten a good read on, but I actually like the Colts here for 2 units, Walt. I think, from the research I've done, Indy's defense runs a lot of cover 3, and Stroud has been pretty good against cover 3 from, the minimal research I've done. But I kind of can't believe, almost like I said, that this Colts team is in the playoff race. The Texans are definitely the sexier team here for sure, and I have been high on this Texans team for most of the season. The Colts are like on the island of misfit teams. It's like the 95. I think I saw like 90 or 95% of the money on the Texans.
Yeah,
and also like Stroud, he won the last game coming off the concussion, but that was also the 3rd worst showing for him as far as passing yards go. And it was against Tennessee, a team that I think personally, I can't stand the Titans this year. So I don't know. Like, also, like, the Texans have some players on their injury report. I'm not convinced necessarily. While I'm a huge fan of Stroud, I don't know. I really like the Colts here for those reasons. I think I might go about 2 units on it.
Okay. I could see it. It's just like, you could easily fade the public. I think it makes sense that, like, yeah, people want to bet Houston, and that's what they're doing. Like, they want to bet CJ Stroud, but sometimes the public side is the right side. Sometimes the public gets it right. It's not like the sharps are betting the Colts either. It's just like, this is just public money and like no sharp money on the pushback. I wonder if the sharps are waiting for like Colts +3 or something like that. I don't know if it'll get there, but maybe we'll see some phantom money moving the line.
Colts at home too. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Salute.
He says, I haven't forgotten the Colts shredding the Texans early in the year. I'm with Quacky. Yes. However, something to keep in mind, that was week 2. Something to keep in mind was Houston's run defense was not nearly as good as it was now. So I think it's a different matchup. Plus, CJ Stroud has a lot more experience too. Chris says, what's up with this extra late start? I've written off having a show tonight, the dumbest thing possible. So watching the NBA. My condolences there.
There are dumber things you can do, but I get it.
Yeah. Well, I gave my spiel on why there's the late start here. So if you want to rewind and hear my story of agonizing pain, you can do that. Alan says, none of the Saturday divorce material warrants a wager. I kind of agree with that. And these 2 games are not that appealing. Nathan says Colts are the home is the key to this matchup. Okay. Yeah. And Kel says, do we trust CJ? Don't call me Laurie Stroud. I don't know. I kind of like, he doesn't have experience, but he's been really good this year as a rookie. So
yeah, and don't get it twisted. I'm a big fan of CJ Stroud. I've been a high on this Texans team all year. I just think, now that he's back, they had a relatively easy win, after coming off the concussion. I just think, I don't know, and especially seeing all the public money on it. I like the Colts a little bit here, so we'll see what happens. They could easily go in there and roll them too, I guess, but I do like the Colts here.
Okay.
So.
Chris says swines. I wrote filthy swines initially, but you both look showered. I
can recommend a good optometrist to you.
Showered. What is shower? I have 2 kids under 2. Well, actually, not anymore under 2. Almost under 2. I shower like twice a week, so I don't think. I shouldn't look shower at all to you. So yeah,
that's COVID rules there, man. That's lockdown shower rules.
I know.
Respect.
Yeah, Alex says Quacky's corner is canceled this week and replaced by Quacky's medical minute.
Oh geez, I'm not even prepared. I'll have to come up. Okay, we got 14 more games. I'll see what I can come up with in the meantime there, Alex.
Yeah. Texans playoff can wait 1 more year. Texans a lot of DMPs. Yeah, that's gonna be key. So we'll see. Well, I guess the final injury report is out. Yeah, I saw that they had a lot of DMPs. I didn't check the final injury report today, which I'll take a look at it when we discuss other games. But
and hey guys, too, before we get to the next one, the chat is making me feel even more confident in the Colts. So we love we love that you all put give your input on these. It makes it a lot more fun. So thanks for that. It's awesome. But now I might go 3 units on the Colts after hearing the chat here or reading the chat, I guess.
Yeah, we have. I mean, I feel like we have a lot of sharp people in the chat, so I think
Definitely.
you guys might be onto something. Look at this injury report. Well, these guys might play. You know, it's late in the year. Will Anderson's DMP limited, which is not like a great sign. That's Will Anderson. Noah Brown is out. It's not ideal because they're also missing Tank Dell. They have Malik Collins, DMP limited. Jonathan Greenard is a pretty solid player. He's out. Sheldon Rankins, DMP limited. Tunsil is DMP limited, which is, as you can probably tell, is better. And then Robert Woods has not practiced at all. So they could be without Robert Woods, Noah Brown, and Tank Dell. So only Nico Collins there. Plus, Dalton Schultz too, and Devin Singletary. So like they're not like starved for weapons, but it is kind of bleak here. And the Colts injury report looks a lot better, as you can see on the screen. I think you guys might be onto something. I actually might jump on the Colts with you. You guys may have talked me into it.
Yeah,
so,
I'm liking it more and more as we talk about it. Chris Williams, need your eyes checked. Hey, I'll tell you what. I just go on 1-800-CONTACTS. You can get a test right there online, and they'll send you your prescription. It's like, I think it's like $30 or $40.
Yeah.
So I guess I should probably go to a real optometrist too, though. So anyhow, sorry.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the Sunday slate. First game is Falcons at the Saints. I locked this pick in already because there might be news on. Actually, let's check it out. I thought there might be news that Alvin Kamara may not play. Yeah, Alvin Kamara, DMP. If he's out, I think this line may drop to 2.5. And what I get it at, I actually got a plus 3.5 minus 114. I don't know if there are any 3.5s still available. I'll take a look while you talk, but. I like Atlanta. The Sharps are in Atlanta. The Sharps brought this down from 4 to 3, which is nice to see. The Saints might be with their top two playmakers might be out. Like Kamara is going to be out. Chris Olave, I assume, is going to play, but he's dealing with an ankle injury. He wasn't effective at all last week. And the Falcons have AJ Terrell to slow him down. So like the Falcons can neutralize the Saints' top two offensive weapons. And like this is an Atlanta team that just kind of like. They played well against their divisional rivals this year. Not counting that second Carolina game where they threw that game away, but they blew out Carolina the first time. The first time against the Saints, that was also a blowout. The first game against the Buccaneers was very lopsided yardage wise. They only won by 3 because of was it 1 because of too many turnovers in the red zone. And the second time against Tampa, they lost, but they outgained Tampa by like 150 yards. So this Atlanta team has struggled outside of the division, as has every team in this division. However, I feel like they've done better against their divisional rivals than the other teams have. And so I think that they match up well against the Saints. These games are usually close. So I'm inclined to. So obviously I bet Atlanta. And even if this drops to 2.5, I still think I'd be inclined to take Atlanta. But 3.5 was way too good to pass up with Kamara potentially out. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I'm on Atlanta too, though I'm probably not going to touch it just for office pool purposes, as we say. As you mentioned in your write-up, the Falcons can beat the Saints with the rushing attack, and they have used a little more, but will they actually run the ball? I mean, you never know. And who's to say that Artie Smith won't have the mustache grown back by then, So there's that too. But also, we've got 2 NFC South matchups. I'm assuming that the NFC South on the road trend that we've caught on to this year applies, even though it is 2 NFC South teams. I like the Falcons here. Again, I'm probably not going to touch it, but I'll side with them for office pool purposes.
Okay. Chris saying this Warrior choke job is real. Up 18 midway through the 4th. Lose at the buzzer. Well, I hope you didn't have any money on the Warriors. I haven't not bet the NBA yet, outside of some props, but I will be doing that as soon as the regular season's over. So actually coming up, but we'll have some NBA picks soon.
I forgot to text you too. I really like Calgary Flames tonight, and they came through. I forgot to tell you about it. I'm sorry.
Right. Well,
but now I'm advertising that I can pick a game every now and then.
I mean, I was asleep anyway, so I probably wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah.
So no worries there. If Jacob were here, would he lay 2 to be safe on the Falcons? What do you mean? Oh, you mean to like 2 units? I think Jacob liked the Falcons as well. So, I guess so. Chris says Joker from damn near half court. Wow.
Oh,
Arthur Smith coaching for his job. How are the Falcons 7 and Saints 7-8?
I think the same thing, John. The same. Like, how is that?
They play each other right in the division. Like they play all these crappy teams in the division,
right.
And like that's what I say before. Like these teams, I think they finished 16-28 against the spread outside the division. But like they do play each other, and like sometimes they'll look good. Like that's fun. It's the funny thing. This happens like every couple of weeks when they play each other. Like these teams will play each other, and like one will look good because they beat the other, and then the other one, like the team that won, will be priced too highly in the next game outside the division, and then they won't cover. That's what's happened all year, but you know it doesn't matter anymore. Not this week anyway, because they're both playing each other. So
the mic over here.
I think Falcons win because Art shaved the hairy alien thing off. Yeah, I'm glad you're on board with me with this being an alien being that was sucking the brain power out of him. So I think I've been proven right, because ever since that's gone away, he's gone to Bichon more.
You might be onto something. Did you hear about just real quick? I'm sorry to interject. Did you hear about in Miami? There was like 800 police cars, and there was like these 8 to 10 foot beans like walking around this mall. It just like happened today, but like it's probably just a conspiracy. But there's like this film. There must be like 100 cop cars, and they said that they're like these 8 to 10 foot. So hey, maybe that's our boy Art.
Wait, does it really happen?
Well. You don't know. Some people are saying it's a distraction, from trying to play as a distraction to, other big things in the news at the moment. But let's not open that can now.
You mean like some sort of list that might be coming?
Yeah, yeah, something like that.
It's always aliens that are distracting. I personally don't care about aliens. Like people are like, oh my god, aliens. I like obviously there's something out there. Because they found like some bacteria on some moon. Like, and there was just bacteria here once upon a time. So like, obviously there is something out there. And like, I feel like that if there is aliens, I don't know if you ever watched Star Trek, but the prime directive is that like, you don't interfere with civilizations that are not ready for intergalactic travel and stuff like that. Because you don't want to screw with their development. And so like, if there are aliens out there, they wouldn't be visiting us because they're waiting for us to develop and to, maybe to be welcomed into this intergalactic whatever. And I wouldn't suspect any aliens to be super malicious, because like, why would they, like, and like the shows are always like, the movies are always like, oh, they want to take our resources, as if there aren't like infinite resources out there like throughout the galaxy, So
they probably want to come down and see what the hell's wrong with my brain.
Right.
Anyhow, we'll move on. I'm sorry. This is good. I hope. I just don't want anyone who's here for the game talk to.
Well, we are wants to venture into some weird things. So especially on the Saturday show. So like I feel like we are venturing towards Saturday.
Yeah. No, I love where it's headed.
Yeah. So Red Eye says, do you think Falcons are worth a money line play? Yes. Something I've discussed before is that our proxy for the super contest, what he likes to do, if he likes an underdog, he'll put a quarter of what he bets or what he's planning to bet on the money line, and then he'll put the rest on the actual side. So if you're going to bet 4 units on the Falcons, maybe put 3 units on the Falcons and put a quarter or 1 unit on the money line. So that's something you could do. Mike says I'm semi-serious about the mustaching. I'm fully serious. So anyway, Chris says I had Nuggets plus 10, a rare NBA win for me. Oh, congrats! That's awesome. 2 units. Yeah, I think Jacob is on 2 units or something like that. They played 16 games or 70. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying now. It's just not. Yeah, I sometimes I forget to update the record because I do it after the Sunday slate's over, and so I'll sometimes gloss over updating the records. So that tends to happen from time to time. But
Walt's arithmetic certification was just expired too. So
these I don't know, these team records, I feel like they could be 7 and 8 based on how bad the NFC South is.
It's hard to get used to the 17 though, and also you have like 18 trillion things on your site too. So like it's easy to gloss over something like that for sure. But it's hard to get used to like the 17. For years I had like the 16 game records like ingrained in my head. So
I know I don't like it at all. 8 to 9 feet tall, maybe was the Canaanites. Walt, don't get on that spaceship. It's a cookbook.
To serve, man.
Yeah. Alan says I'm rooting for ties across the NFC South. I think that'd be interesting.
I'll tell you what, just real quick, Al, that's not a. If it were any division on any year for that to happen, for at least one of those games to tie, it's that division. I actually might sprinkle for both those games to end in a tie. I'm not saying I think it'll happen, but it wouldn't surprise me. But
I think the NFL should come out with a rule. It's like if one of these games ends up with a tie, they just boot both teams out of the playoffs.
Yeah, they get canceled.
Yeah. Chris, same Alan Jacobs is going to regret not betting ties. All right. Anyway, we go to the next game. Browns at the Bengals. This is another weird game because you have backups. So Jeff Driscoll is going to start for Cleveland, which sounds disastrous. Like at least Tyler Huntley is like a decent quarterback. Jeff Driscoll is not very good. So he's going to start in this game for the Browns, and I don't know who else. Pierre Thomas or Pierre Strong. Sorry, not Pierre Thomas. That's out
of retirement. Yeah,
I know. Yeah, he's going to come back. It's going to be Pierre Strong here for the Browns in the backfield too against the Bengals. With Jake Browning, who's played well, and Jamar Chase and the rest of the starters. T. Higgins may miss this game. I know he's missed practice time, but still. So this is kind of like the same thing. Like I want to take the Bengals, but this number sucks. So you either take a bad number or you take backups. I would just rather pass in the game. Do you have anything here?
I'm with you. To quote Jacob here, this is my go girl game. Okay. I will take the Bengals here for no units, but for all full purposes. But the Bengals they really started very slowly. They were dealing with injuries, and then of course Burrow went out for the season. And I kind of thought once Burrow went out, I think most people did, thought it was going to be the end of their season. But hey, they were in contention until last week. They ended up playing a lot better than I thought they would once Burrow got hurt. I expect them to put a little show of sorts on for the home crowd to end the season. Like I said, they've been playing better, with throughout all the injuries. So I don't like the number, which is why I'm going with 0 units, but I like the Bengals to put on a show for the home crowd to close out a season that was finished a little bit above expectations given the injuries they had, in my opinion. So,
yeah. I mean, once Burrow went down, you're like, oh, is this team ever going to win again? But yeah, that win against Jacksonville was nice. Unfortunately, they just came a little shy. Cal says it got Bengals minus 4.5. It's a great number. Congrats on that.
Wow, yeah.
John says I'm surprised Burrow didn't make the Pro Bowl given the national love affair. Yeah, I mean, well, we've seen what happened to them since he went down, but yeah,
you got to get in there and got to keep clicking, John. Go on there and vote. They still vote for the Pro Bowl.
I don't. I've never watched the Pro Bowl. I watched every single preseason game since 2005 or 2006. Whenever I moved back from college, I have not ever in my life watched the Pro Bowl.
I worked a Pro Bowl one time. I used to work for a company that did security, and I managed. Really? Okay. Yeah, and I worked. What year was that? The 16-17 season. Yeah, it was right before the Patriots Falcons.
Oh, cool.
Super Bowl. So, but other than that, yeah, I remember like when I was a kid, you could vote for like the Major League Baseball All Stars. They had like a thing you'd fill out, and you could like pencil in. I played catcher when I was a pretty good baseball player. Like I only played through like 10th grade, but I had like thought as a kid, like, you can like pencil in someone that's not on the list. I was like, what if I just fill out like a million of these and write my name on there? Like what they live. I was 10, by the way. So
well, you'd be like that kid that in a Cubs movie. Like, that comes out. Yeah, he's no strike zone. How do we pitch to him?
Exactly.
Yeah. So John says Mahomes over Allen. Really? Is that what happened? That's kind of how do you put Mahomes in? Obviously he's a great quarterback, just a horrible year. It's pretty bad. And G Chuck says AllStar games in every sport are lame. Yeah, I think you're right. Like at least
NBA AllStar game used to be good.
Yeah, the NBA you had the dunk contest. I think that's the most fun, or at least it used to be. Like back when I was a kid, at least it used to be fun. And like I think it's more for like the kids because like when I was first getting into sports as like 10, 11, 12-year-old, I would like look forward to the All-Star game because I'd be, oh my God, look, it's our Phillies guy or the Sixers guy, not Sixers, don't make the All-Star team. But like the Phillies, you have like like John Kruk was he made the All-Star team. That was 93. That's the first time I liked the Phillies. And like I felt like embarrassed for John Kruk when he got struck out by Randy Johnson in the All-Star game.
that iconic moment.
Yeah. So I mean, I was like, oh my god, like I felt like proud to have my team represented the All-Star team. But like I was a kid, and you're so naive, like you don't realize these games don't matter. Like the All-Star game doesn't matter.
I can definitely relate. I felt the same way as a kid.
Yeah, for sure.
Johnson fans should not be allowed to vote on that.
Fans should not be allowed to vote on anything. I like it. I said like I feel like they should almost cancel All-Star games and just have the list announced. But then again, like I said, I think it's a thing for the kids. I don't know. Like I said, I love the NBA I love the MLB All-Star game, NBA as well. Even though those Sixers would make it until Allen Iverson. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think it's for the kids. I'd rather watch a Pro Bowl than the actual. I'd rather watch a Pro Bowl than the actual Pro Bowl.
Nice,
okay, I see what you're saying.
Pete Weber.
Yeah, Alan says most of the early discussion was motivation for the Met games, which had me less determinative this year than ever. Are there any big player incentives that we know of that might actually matter? Big player incentive. I know there's something from Austin Eckler. I know there's something for Baker Mayfield. But like, they're different things, right? Because like Baker Mayfield's in a must-win, whereas like the Chargers are not, and so they could just focus on giving the ball to Eckler. I don't know exactly what they are. I just know those two off like listening to other shows. But I haven't heard anything else though. Maybe I'll hear something by Saturday. Right says for some reason I still remember the Dave DeBouchier going 1 for 13 in the NBA All-Star game. That's before my time. I was my first All-Star game that I ever watched was I think it was like 92 or something like that. It was the year after Charles Barkley got traded. And the Sixers got Jeff Hornacek, Tim Perry, and Andrew Lang for him. And then like they had Clarence Weatherspoon. I still remember this, and I still remember being disappointed by this because I was young back then. I was 10. Sixers had no representative in the All-Star game, and like the announcer for the Sixers is like, Clarence Weatherspoon was not voted in the All-Star game this year, but he will be. I guarantee it. And like I was like, yeah, Clarence Weatherspoon will be an All-Star one day. And he just never made the All-Star game. And I remember just always being disappointed hearing about that.
Wow.
I don't
know. that's a good share, man. So that's an interesting memory.
Yeah, I know. I still remember that. So yeah, obviously just told you, but I still remember that to this day because like when you hear people say stuff on TV, like when you're a kid, you're like these people are adults. They know what they're talking about. But like now, like most of the people on TV are morons who are just there because the media establishment put them there. They're just not
present company included. Oh man, this is a good show. We're dealing the funny tonight. This is good. I love the interaction.
Well, if I'm the corporate media establishment, then I don't know. Something went wrong here. I don't know. I'm not. I'm definitely not that.
You guys in the comments are.
Mike says, sounds like the government where soon citizens won't be allowed to vote on anything. That's vote for only these two people, and we exclude everyone else on the ballot. Yeah. I'd rather have a root canal than watch Pro Bowl games. Yeah. Root canal's actually not bad. I've had 2 of them. They're like, it's not like they get a bad rap. They're like not horrible.
You're gonna sit here and tell me that a root canal isn't that bad? I mean, I never had one, but I don't know, man.
I mean, like relatively, like you're like you hear someone's going root canal, you're like, oh man, that sucks. It's like it's not horrible because you're not like any pain just because they numb the root and everything and it's just gone. Like all the pain's gone. You just have to sit there and like it's the worst. You have to go to the bathroom. You're just sitting there, but like other than that, it's just like it's just bored. It's just boredom, but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. Maybe the NFL can hire NCAA committee to decide who makes the playoffs. It's not bad. I don't know. Walt might have to do both at once.
You guys are freaking. Oh, I remember that too, Chris.
Carmelo is afraid of getting HIV from Magic. Yeah, there was such a craze about the HIV thing when Magic came back. is like you're all like people are like afraid of getting HIV from watching the game. It was like everyone just like so worried about it.
Yeah. Well, back then they didn't. There's a really good if you guys haven't seen it already. There's a 30 for 30 called The Announcement about that. It's really well done. It's really well done. Okay. And it's funny because at the time, you know, they didn't know. Like I understand where Karl Malone's coming. I mean, in hindsight, it's like you didn't have anything to worry about. But it's called The Announcement, 30 for 30. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. So.
Okay, interesting. Chris says, good thing Magic wasn't a 14-year-old girl. Yeah. Root Canal Pro Bowl at the same time. Two things at once. They numb the hell out of it. Yes, they do. Yeah, you don't. Like I said, you don't feel anything. He got it from touching Larry's bird.
We gotta get to the next game.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
You guys are great. This is awesome.
Okay, next game. I mean, this is like the root canal game. Jets and Patriots. Patriots by 1.5. This was 2.5. It dropped to 1.5. It dropped when it was announced that Zach Wilson would be out, which is a little weird. I don't know. I think it'd rather move the other way, but anyway. So this is a tough one. I think both these teams are just going to have issues moving the ball through the air, but on the ground, I think they'll both have success, oddly enough. You know, with the Jets run defense has been bad, so I think Elliott should have a good game. And then Breece Hall has kind of – we talked about this with Kenny yesterday. Breece Hall has kind of turned into like Marshall Faulk without the touchdowns. Like if you look at his receptions total, he's catching like 8 passes every game. And the Patriots are weak to running backs as receivers out of the backfield. So I think like Elliott and Hall could have like both good – they both have good games. And that's kind of like – I don't know. I think that this is a tough one to handicap. I think I trust the Patriots a little bit more than the Jets, who just were a no-show on Thursday. Just seems like they've kind of mailed that in. And so like the Patriots at least have been playing hard. You know, they beat Denver recently and they hung tough against Buffalo. This line's only 1.5 though. I don't know. I'm not going to bet this game. But I'm likely to decide with the Patriots. But what do you think about this one?
You know, Mike, I see you down there surprised they didn't flex this one. Yeah, I am too. No, but I'll tell you what, when I first looked at this, Walt, I thought this was going to be a go girl game, to quote Jacob once again. I like the Patriots and I like them a lot. I'm going to take them for 3 units. I'm going to take Belichick any day over the Jets, especially at home. And meanwhile, the Patriots have been playing a lot better. Let's look at their last 7 games. They gave up 10 points to the Colts and the Giants, respectively. 6 points to the Chargers. They beat the Steelers. They almost backdoored the Chiefs. They beat the Broncos and they covered versus the Bills. I mean, this might be a meaningless. I mean, not might. I mean, it obviously is a meaningless game. There's no way I'm going to take a Jets team who's lost 7-9. They didn't score a touchdown in 5 of those games. Barely squeaked by the Commandos after going up 20 points, and they got a lot of help from the Texans in that game that they did win, who suffered a lot of injuries. I like the Patriots a good bit here. I don't think they're I'm going to put, I think, maybe 3 units on it. I was surprised that I felt this strongly about this game looking at the matchup. Just maybe the most meaningless game here on the board, arguably. But I like the Patriots a good bit.
Okay, interesting. You may have talked me into betting this. I don't know. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I do like a lot of other games. Stafford talking about over under 30.5. Over, right? I think a number that low, I think I'm more inclined to go under. What do you think?
I agree. Over seems a little too easy there.
Yeah,
this could be like a 21 or like a 21-7 game or something like that. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, 16-10, something like that. Like, I feel like everyone's gonna look at 30.5. They're like, oh, it has to go over.
Yeah, I agree. Usually when I see, I mean, I hardly touch totals, but when I see when it's like, especially with like when overs look too easy, I'd like to go under. But you know, what do I know? I'm Dr. Quack, so.
Gus says, forget Go Girl. This is a cover girl game because you can't make this up.
Maybe you're born with it, Cal. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Yeah, right. John says, Patriots defense is legit. Zappy's 3 picks last week where the receivers fall. Yeah, that's true. The Patriots did that. They did a lot. They did score on that kickoff return to start the game, though.
Patriots have laid some eggs at home too. I don't think Belichick team is gonna. I mean, you know, they're not good, so maybe, you know, like they're not gonna roll over here. They're gonna try. I think for sure. That's you know, just one idiot's opinion, but.
G-Chick says, "Hey, Quacky, I think you've already passed Jacob all time in betting 3 units in this episode alone." Jacob's had some big bets. He's had some 4-unit bets. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that is the joke though that we have sometimes. All right, Jaguars at the Titans. Go ahead.
I don't really go more than 4. I don't think, unless it's something I really like. I mean,
yeah, I tend to have usually
show,
I usually have like 1 5-unit pick per week, and then I'll have like 1 8-unit pick per month. I don't know. It's all relative, right? Anyway, Jaguars at the Titans. I don't know why this is listed at 5.5. It's 3.5. I tried to update the site, the picks page. It didn't work. And actually, I got a text from my developer right now. So anyway, this line is 3.5. This is our first Aurora Snowmo game of the week. If you guys are not familiar with that phenomenon, it's when a team that needs to win in the final couple weeks of the season, they get matched up against a team that has been eliminated from the playoffs. And actually, I actually had this is really cool. I was excited to share this with you. Hold on. I got I'll pull it up. I think it's on my phone. So when you talk, I'll get to it. But someone actually crunched the numbers and they told me the record of Aurora Snow games. I actually looked it up. I have not verified it, so they could be like talking out of their butt here. But like, I thought it kind of like it was cool to see a record attached to it. But anyway, so you have a team that needs to win against a team that's been eliminated. The team that needs to win always chokes, or almost always chokes. And that's the case. That might be the case here with Jacksonville. They need to win this game, and the Titans have nothing to play for, so the Titans are not going to try, right? Well, this is their Super Bowl, basically. They're not going to make the playoffs because they're 5-11, but they can at least go into the offseason knowing that they removed one of their rivals from the playoffs. And I think that they're going to play hard here. Jacksonville has only won 1 game since that game against Houston in Week 12. That one win was against Carolina last week. Now you have Trevor Lawrence picking up another injury. Now he's a finger injury on his non-throwing hand. Like this, I called him the Black Knight. Like he just keeps getting like various injuries everywhere on his body. I don't trust the Jacksonville team at all. They can't stop the pass. I think that the Titans should have some success moving the ball through the air. It bothers me a little bit the Titans won't be able to run the ball because Jacksonville is really good against the run. But other than that, I do like Tennessee. I like him for a couple units. I think I have 3 units down, or may I have 2? Let me see. I have 2 units down, but I could be talked to 3. What do you think about this one?
You know, originally I was on Tennessee, but now I'm leaning towards the Jags maybe for a unit. I definitely think this is. I mean, all your points are definitely taken, and I think I felt the same way at the beginning of like when I kind of unpacked this game, and this could be revenge for the Titans. Revenge, like you said, it's their Super Bowl revenge for getting knocked out of the playoffs by the Jaguars last year. I don't know. I don't think they're definitely not going to roll over for this. I don't think that at all. But I kind of like the Jags here. So like let's kind of look at their last 4 games. They lost to the Bengals and the Browns. Lawrence got hurt late in that Bengals game, and this was before we knew about Browning and Flacco mania, that they were going to be a lot better than anyone could have ever expected. Their defense has been bad, especially down the stretch here in the season. But like I look at like that Ravens game. The Ravens were only up 10-7 heading in the fourth quarter of that game, and that's the same Ravens team that just embarrassed the 49ers and Dolphins. That the Jacksonville game against Tampa was really awful, and the win versus the Panthers last week is definitely not anything to get excited about. But I kind of compare that. I think I can make the argument that win versus the Panthers. You ever like go on a streak? I don't know if you remember last year. I had like when I was doing like daily videos, I had like an 8-game losing streak. I lost eight days in a row. I made like a whole video with like I was like tearing up because I finally won one. And I remember like I picked a really easy game. I took like the Cardinals like minus 190, and it came through. My point of bringing this up is like, I don't know, sometimes you got to like grab like the low hanging fruit to like kind of get back on track. And I wonder if maybe I can make that argument, same sort of argument for the Jags beating the Panthers last week. I don't know. This Titans team just seems to screw me like every time I take them. I'm leaning towards the Jags, but maybe for 1 unit at the most.
Okay. I have the number here. So this is dating back. It says since 2000. Teams that need to win to make the playoffs versus teams that have been eliminated the final 2 weeks of the season. 58-97 against the spread.
Wow.
So yeah, that's pretty bad for these teams. It's pretty bleak. So these teams tend to choke. I've noticed it for a long time ago that, when I first started handicapping as a naive 18 or 7, actually 17-year-old when I first started doing this. I was like, oh, this team needs to win. This team has nothing to play for. I'm going to take the team that needs to win. And they would almost always fail to live up to expectations. I think the Jaguars are going to fail to live up to expectations. I know the Titans have been bad, this year, but Vrabel has a great record as an underdog. He's 25-14 against the spread as an underdog of 3 or more. I know that didn't work last week, but it has worked for most of his coaching tenure. So we got.
Yeah, and I definitely I definitely, snow mode is definitely in effect here. I just feel there are some snow mode angles that I like a little bit better than this one, but I agree with you too. I mean, you make some good points, and that's probably why I was leaning towards the Titans originally. But I think I am gonna. But you know what? Then I'm looking at the Super Contest card. They're 5.5, on the Super Contest card as opposed to what they're 3.5 now. Or,
yeah.
So
yeah, it is sharp money on Tennessee. Kel says this line went from 5.5 to 3.5 to Trevor Lawrence breaking nail. Yeah, it's a different injury. It is merely a flash wound with him. G Chuck says just busting Jacob's balls. He definitely brings good insight every episode. I'll tell you this about Jacob. You're right. The first time I ever had him on as a co-host, so I didn't quite know what to expect. I was a fan of his work because he would send me articles he's written, when he was in college and whatnot, and then when he was out of college, and then I couldn't do shows with Kenny anymore because he had this betting restriction with his job, and so I had Jacob on as a co-host for the first time, and so we went into the first game. I don't even remember what the first game was, but it was week 1 of whatever season, I think 2018 or whatever, 2019, and so Jacob gets in the first game, and I'm ready to go after Jacob. I'm like, hey, what do you think about this game? And Jacob just he went through all my points, and it wasn't quite on the site or anything. I had all these points written down that I wanted to get to. Jacob went through everything. I'm like, oh my god, what do I have to say? I have nothing left to say. Jacob just he went through all the points that I wanted to make. I'm like, oh man, and so
that's awesome. The thing about Jacob too that I really love is when we get on our Friday night calls, he's talking about he can name the second and third string offensive lineman for any team. I'm just dude, I don't know if I could name one. I mean, I'm just the talent here, with a body like this, you don't get the brains with it. So, but I was always I've always am so impressed with Jake, his knowledge of the depth of the depth chart of the teams, especially among other things. So that's a funny story, man.
Yeah, he'll definitely be oh, the Thursday center so and so. Yeah, you're right about that. So John says I'd take the Titans if they didn't have an O-line that's going to block a high school defensive line. Yeah, it is rough. Some of these are snowmobile games. It's you kind of have to hold your nose, but they do work. Lawrence also alternating. That's
Walt's doing the Lawrence over here soon.
Yes. Alan says, lucky I bet this early 5.5. Yeah, great call on your part. That's pretty good. What's the Vrabel record at home only? I will pull that up in a second. Lawrence's Wolverine factor versus line willingness to allow a test his limits of recovery. He does recover super quickly. It's insane, but there is a limit, right? Jags healthier. The Titans have a ton of injuries. Losing Jeffrey Simmons has hurt them quite a bit. Jacob knows his stuff, but he's not the most aggressive bettor. He also isn't going to start any sentences to Walt with "Listen, a-hole."
Is that what the people want? I mean, have any of your co-hosts ever done that
though? Not that I know of. No. We've had quite a few over the years. The first co-host, he was a smart, he's a pretty sharp guy. Because he's disappeared. I haven't heard from him in a long time. I used to talk to him every day. But yeah, it's weird. Anyway, Cal says the 2.5-point line movement in the week is large, sharp money. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point.
While sticking to a snowmo theory until the bitter end. Well,
numbers don't lie though.
What is the number? 58.97. I mean that look at that. I mean that's pretty amazing. And John says Titans fans will spend 5 years debating whether Will Levis is good. Yeah. So anyway, let's pull that up. So I'll do that while we get to the next game, and then when you talk, I'll pull that up. The next game is Vikings at Lions. I don't think we have a starting quarterback yet for the Vikings. I'm kind of waiting on that, unless like it happened today when I was in severe pain. But I actually looked at the news to see if I was missing anything. I didn't see anything. Yeah, I like the Vikings here. The Lions may not play the starters, or if they do play, they may not play the full game because they know that they need both Dallas and Philadelphia to lose to get the 2 seed. Like that's pretty tough. Like it was just one, I could maybe see it, but both, it's like very unlikely to happen. I can see Dan Campbell being pissed that they lost and be like, "Hey, starters, you're going to play until you score a touchdown." You know, one of those deals. They score a touchdown and then he pulls his guys. You know, I can see that happening. So I'd be careful betting the Lions because you might get the backups in the second quarter or something, even if the starters play. So I'm gonna take the Vikings here. Any thoughts on this one?
I'm leaning towards the Lions, but 1-for-1 unit at the most. For reasons that you pointed out. I'm sorry. Well, I always say go against me in the Green Bay games. So I hope it doesn't happen this week. But I really like the Vikings last. I mean, that was an abysmal performance. Just, I mean, it was all the way around for that Vikings team against Green Bay last week. I saw an interview with Dan Campbell after what or saw I think it was the post game interview after what transpired in the game versus Dallas. And I don't know, like he definitely seems motivated. Like he's very adamant. He's moved past it, and like you can tell, like he's, the fire within him is lit now, which I think is good, and maybe it's good timing for this Lions team who, after starting off really hot, has kind of stumbled down the stretch and has not looked nearly as impressive as they did in the beginning of the season, much to my dismay, who took them to win the Super Bowl before the season started. But, even if there's no, they don't have their starters, I just get the feeling from Dan Campbell, who I'm a big fan of. I don't think they're going to roll over. Maybe, something like that happened, better that happen, to them now than, like something like what happened that Saints and Rams game in the playoffs a handful of years ago. Maybe something like that happening is going to give them some extra motivation. I don't think they're going to roll over, even if it is with the starters. Can't back the Vikings after what I saw last week. So I like the Lions for 1 unit at the most.
Okay. I mean, I can see the Vikings just being a no-show because they just got eliminated from the playoffs. But I think it helps that their coach is coming back. So Mike Vrabel as a home underdog with 3 or more, not in the playoffs, is 8-4 against the spread. So pretty good. Not a big sample size, but it tracks with his other record. Let's see here. Casada says I think Levis is the reason for the quick 2-point move there. You think so? You think so? I don't know. I get you might be right. I don't see the difference between the 2 quarterbacks. John says FanDuel maybe report is eligible before betting the Lions. Yeah. That was so bizarre. Is Nick is starting? Is he really? Is he really? I didn't see the news. But I'll take your word for it. Yeah, this week is terrible for betting. I do really like some games. We'll get to them in a bit.
Yeah, usually this week is, Nathan. This is actually a week, like the last week of the season. There's actually a few games. Usually that's the case, and but there are a few. I was surprised pleasantly.
Yeah,
there was more games than I usually like in the last week. Sorry, go ahead.
The Vikings wanted to start Joe Cap, but he passed in May. They might as well just taken someone from the stands over Jaron Hall. He was so bad. And Charlie Campbell's Will Levis scouting board is a damning indictment. I don't know. I mean, a lot of teams every team passed on in the first round. Alan says I pledged another super chat if the Lions get a properly reported O lineman score of any kind. All right,
We're
well,
all
we'll be
good.
rooting for it then. Lions' run game is better, so it seems like something to lean on. Yeah, until Gibbs and Montgomery aren't playing in the second quarter, and then what? Levis couldn't move a line at a Kiss concert. Yeah.
Knights in Satan's Service. You ever seen Detroit Rock City?
No, I have not.
Oh, it's a really good movie. It's about the band Kiss, but real quick, the main character, his mom hates Kiss, and she says that Kiss is an acronym for, she's like this church group that's against Kiss, and Kiss is, they say it's an acronym for Knights in Satan's Service.
Oh, okay.
I always thought that. I always think that now when I see Kiss, but
nice. Okay. Yeah, this is the final early game. This is Aurora Sonoma game number 2. Yeah, Buccaneers at the Panthers. This line's 4.5. It's dropped for 5.5. So sharp money in Carolina. It's a lot of sharp money in Carolina, actually. I said this on Tuesday. How could it happen that a quarterback taking number 1 overall, who's been horrible all year, is playing at home as a home underdog against a team that needs to win? How could it be possible that he'll pull the upset when he's played so bad, so poorly all year, and his team has been so bad all year? It can't happen, right? Well, actually, it happened 2 years ago when Trevor Lawrence beat the Colts as a 14.5-point underdog. He beat him by 15. Yeah. He actually would have covered if he was minus 14.5 instead of plus 14.5. That's how lopsided that game was. So, yeah, this game reminds me of that. I almost wanted to make my predicted score 26-11. Baker Mayfield is injured. I know he missed Wednesday's practice. Let's look at today's. Baker Mayfield was limited today, so it's a good sign for that. But he's dealing with a rib injury. I'm definitely concerned about his health. The Buccaneers were so bad last week against the Saints, and they could have made things a lot easier for themselves had they won that game. Just as far as not just the division, but like getting a wild card spot. But they lost, and they lost in epic fashion. I think that's a sign of things to come. I don't think it's a given that Tampa wins this game. In fact, I'd kind of be surprised if Tampa won this game, to be honest. I think the Panthers, as bad as they've been, I think they win this game. They almost beat Carolina. They almost beat Tampa the first time. It was 21-18. I know they got a backdoor cover, but that was a game where Carolina actually outplayed Tampa in that game. If you watch that game, Carolina was the better team outside of one big play. Mike Evans hit a big play. Outside of that, like if you look at like the metrics, like the success rate, Carolina was like 12% higher than Tampa in success rate in that game. So I think that Carolina matches up well against Tampa. They're at home as a home dog. They almost beat the Saints as a home dog. The game was like 3-3 for a while, right? In week 2. They beat Atlanta as a home dog. So why can't they beat Tampa as a home dog? I love Carolina here. What do you think?
Hey, Kel, I see you there. Hey, Chongo. Good knowledge there, my friend. What's the team's record against the spread after owner throws a drink at a fan? I don't know. Can we look that up on Killer Sports?
I don't know what the query is. I mean, let me ask.
Yeah. I'll be here all night trying to figure it out.
You're right.
Here's another. I think I like the Panthers here a little bit too, and you took most of my points there. Also, keep in mind for those that, I mean, even if their draft order was based on record, it's not like Carolina is going to tank in this game. They're not going anywhere in the draft. For anyone that might not be, I mean, I think everyone's probably aware of that since they traded away all their picks. But I think this is going to be a 3-point game again. Tampa, I don't know. They're a team I haven't really been able to figure out too well on. But here's, I mean, again, it's an NFC South matchup, but this is NFC South on the road nonetheless. I think Carolina keeps this one close. I like him for a unit or two as well. So I agree with pretty much. I mean, you took a lot of my points there, so I'm with you on this one.
Sorry for taking all your points.
Oh no, not at all. I've got a lot to say otherwise. So it's nice to get I can get a breather there on that one, huh?
Okay. Mike says Tepper bet 350K that he could throw a drink and not get fined. Buccaneers could show bad. Panthers owner will be throwing drinks after this one too. Yeah, lots of jokes about that. I feel like people are like criticizing the NFL for fining a billionaire on 350K, just like a drop in the bucket for him. And like I heard people say like, oh, they should take away draft picks from him, but like maybe the punishment is allowing him to keep draft picks because he's squandered all of them. So it's like give
him some more.
guy's gonna screw up. Yeah, give more picks. Yeah, this guy's gonna screw up anyway. Let's give him the embarrassment of doing that. Tampa has the coaching advantage. I think that might be the play of the week for me. Panthers stink. The Jaguars had an interim coach against the Colts, and it's not like Tampa does not have Bruce Arians coaching anymore. So I don't know. Tepper has better accuracy than Bryce Young. Sadly, yeah. maybe he can play. Pinero, the kicker, so far with the right hamstring. Hope they don't need a field goal to cover. I don't know. I feel like you can get a kicker off the street. I don't think it's gonna be too bad. Nathan says Tampa says 23-13. Okay, we'll see. I mean, it could happen. Chris says, and if we know that Carolina will shut down Tampa's passing game, should 4.5 be the spread of the over and under? Yeah. What if it is? What if it's like 2-0 or 3-0? Yeah. Anyway, let's get to the late games here. As 6-4, yeah, the Penn State Iowa game was awesome. I'm still waiting for 6-1 to happen or 8-1 to happen. I don't think it's ever going to happen.
That'd
be the most epic score, even if it's not the final. I would love to see something like that. Anyway, the first of the late games is I wanted to lock this in. I actually did lock this in. It's just not uploaded yet. It is okay. So my developer did a good job getting this in. I locked in Dallas at -13. So I was not sure where I was going to go with this game because we didn't know if it was going to be Jacoby Brissett or Sam Howell. And it was announced that Sam Howell was going to start. So I was like, okay, I'm automatically going to be on Dallas here. And then there was a report today from NBC Washington that said the vibe around the Redskins facility is that that's my word that many other veterans won't play, which is like so weird to hear, right? Like, so they might actually the Redskins may sit their starters or some of them because they want to preserve their draft capital. Like they want to have happened to them what happened to Houston last year. So like if the Redskins, like, they're really not trying in this game. Like if they wanted to try and win this game, they would have Jacoby Brissett start. But it appears like as though they're tanking this game. So I'm going to be high on Dallas. I have 4 units on them. What are your thoughts here?
Well, that changes, how I feel. I'm kind of surprised, especially in a division game. And I mean, they could still not try. I mean, I guess there's a chance they could still cover 13. I don't really have an opinion. I guess what I have here is if the Commandos had their starters. I thought maybe Washington was going to keep it close against the 49ers, and I wonder if that could maybe happen here. If they don't play any of their starters at all, then my argument here is about to be suspect. But let me just say what I'm going to say. I took some time to put it together. Keep in mind this game, even though they lost 45-10 on Thanksgiving to Dallas, the score is 20-10 after 3 quarters. Sam Howell, as bad as he's been, did throw for 300 yards. The Cowboys are also 3-5 on the road, and since beating the Commandos on Thanksgiving, they've really only had like one impressive game. That was against the Eagles at home. They almost lost to Seattle. They lost to the Bills, the Dolphins. They should have lost to the Lions. You can definitely argue that all those teams are, obviously far superior competition to Commandos. I wish Howell wasn't starting, but and again, all my points here are moot if they're not going to play anybody. But if they did, that's my hypothetical argument. If the Commandos did play their starters, so I'm probably not going to touch this one though.
Yeah, I love Dallas here. Like the fact that they're starting the inferior quarterback, like that's like a signal to the rest of the players. Like, oh, why would we try hard? Like it feels like the coaching staff is quitting on them, the front office is quitting on them. I don't see why they would try hard. And Sam Howell is just gotten so bad. He holds on to the ball way too long. It's kind of a disaster. If this were Brissett, I would actually love Washington. But they appear to be not interested in winning this game. Cal says, I recently opened a bakery, could use a turnover machine, but he's starting for the Redskins. It's the final week of the season, so I think he might be available. So after this one.
Pretty soon at least.
Yeah. Anyway, we get to the next game, which is we have Rams at Niners. Take your best guess here. This is going to be Sam Darnold versus Carson Wentz. Both teams playing their backups. I don't know how much we could possibly say about this. if you didn't watch the show on Wednesday, Kenny and I made what I thought was a great looking lineup with Carson Wentz as our quarterback. He's only 4,500. We stacked him with Tutu Atwell and Davis Allen. This is what we got on week 18. But other than that, I have nothing to say about this game. I don't know. You couldn't even pay me to bet this game, which sounds weird because it'd be free money, but still, I don't want anything to do with this. So anyway, what do you think?
Me, Walter? Are you kidding me? This is going to be Carson Wentz's coming out party, man. No, I don't really have an opinion either. I don't think either of these teams. I mean, obviously they don't really care that much, but I'm kind of surprised because the Rams, while they've clinched a playoff spot, like they could drop seeding if they lose and Green Bay wins because Green Bay beat them in the regular. They own the tiebreaker. Maybe they don't care who they. I mean, I guess maybe they don't care if they play the Lions or the Cowboys. Shows confidence. I like that in the team, but But I guess I was kind of surprised to see that. I mean, do they not care? I mean, if they're going to play their backups and they lose this game, which I mean, 49ers are obviously one of the best teams in the NFL. Do they not care? I mean, maybe they just really like the Bears. Maybe they don't think Green Bay is going to win. But if Green Bay wins and they lose, they drop to the 7th seed. So that's worth noting, and maybe why I'm leaning towards the Rams. But for I'm not going to put any. I'm probably not going to touch it. But for office pool purposes, I'll take Rams plus 4.5.
Yeah, I don't think they care. And Green Bay is no lock to win at all. So, Kelsey's give me Prince Harry plus 4. Actually, what's funny is that speaking of Prince Harry, I was going to Las Vegas with my wife. We're at the airport, and we were just buying like stuff at one of those convenience stores at the airport. And there was like a magazine, and like it was what I thought was Carson Wentz with some girl. I'm like, oh look, Carson Wentz getting married. And my wife's like, that's Prince Harry. And like I was like, who's that? And then she's like, you don't know who Prince Harry is? And like the woman behind the cash register is like started laughing. I'm like, no, the only Prince I know is the one who sang Purple Rain. And I was like, and like the cashier, like I wasn't even like trying to make a joke. Like I was just like, seriously, that's the only Prince I know. And the cashier like started like cracking up. But that's my story.
I'm just so shocked to hear. I thought you would be, up early to watch the royal wedding. I thought you would have been, well versed on this topic. So okay, I mean,
I don't know
why does anyone. I mean, I know, like obviously, I'm not the target market for that, and I'm not trying to throw any shit. I mean, obviously, it's women that want, but like, who would care? Like, I don't know these people. I guess I shouldn't say that, but people get like so into the royal. I don't know.
I don't know. We fought so hard to get away from King George. Like we think that we wouldn't care about this stuff. Like I don't know. We fought a war to stop serving the crown, and like now people are infatuated with the crown. Like I don't know. Sorry to any Brits who are watching this. Are like, hey, like what the hell? Like
yeah. All the women that love the royal wedding are gonna try to cancel.
I know. What's 6:20 a.m. London time, so maybe they're still asleep.
They're up early checking us out.
Yeah, right. Maybe he can get he can't go. He's a Stafford infection. By the way, I should say this. This has nothing to do with this game, but I bet the Rams to win the Super Bowl at what was the number 66-1 at BetMGM. I don't know if that's still the number. The reason I did that, and has to do with your Quacky Corner, or should we tease it?
We can throw. I can bring it up now too.
No. We'll wait for Quacky Corner. We've
got a whole treasure trove of picks for Quacky's Corner tonight. I'll tell you.
Okay, I will. I'll make my case for Rams winning the Super Bowl. It's a good one, I promise. It's not one of these like throw something at the wall. I think it's a good play. John says the same people that enjoy the camera constantly showed Taylor Swift at the Chiefs game. Yeah.
Exactly.
I think there's the same people like the royal wedding like Taylor Swift. I guarantee.
Never have truer words been spoken, John Sanders. Bravo.
As I said on another show, Travis Kelce's succubus girlfriend. My wife would never miss a royal wedding. Sorry to hear that.
We're not the target market for it, Slew. So no. I'm not trying to throw too much shade, but
no. If it was like the red wedding, it'd be pretty cool. The Eagles at the Giants. I'd watch the Red White. It'd be pretty fun. Eagles at the Giants. So with this game, I think this will surprise some people, but apparently the Eagles are talking about sitting their starters. Nick Sirianni said they might do it, which sounds weird because they could get the second seed if they win and Dallas loses, but then that would require Dallas to lose to Washington, which is almost certainly not going to happen, especially now that Washington's talking about sitting their starters. So like every team in the NFC East is going to be sitting the starters except for the Giants and the Cowboys, apparently. But like even if Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown play, it could be for a quarter, could be for a half. At halftime, if they hear that the Cowboys are way up, they could just sit their guys. So once again, I say, like I said with Detroit, I say be careful betting the Eagles here, just because we may get their backups in the second half. And then anyway, the Giants have been playing better with Tyrod Taylor. I think they match up well against the Eagles because they could run the ball on them. The Eagles' run defense has been soft lately. Tyrod Taylor has been playing better. He does have an injury, though, so that's something to monitor. If he doesn't play, I wouldn't want to bet Tommy DeVito, but if it's Taylor, I have interest in betting the Giants for a couple units. What do you think?
I like the Giants for about 3 units. This Eagles team, they have not been looking good, obviously. I've been saying all year, Walt, that something's been off with this Eagles team all season long. And the chickens are finally coming home to roost, Bobby Boucher. The Eagles are going to lose all their fancy foosball games. I'll tell you what, I mean, especially if they're going to be sitting there starters. Remind me, I've got a Quacky's Corner prop for this game later too that I really like. I'll tell you when we get to that point. But whoever the Eagles, whether it's the Bucks or the Saints or whoever ends up winning the NFC South, what do you think that line's going to be? Like Eagles -3 or 4? Take the NFC South.
You think?
I mean,
it seems I don't know. They're so bad. I think the Eagles actually win that game and then they get destroyed in round 2.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I'm interested to see where that plays out, but yeah, I mean, I'm all over the Giants here, maybe for 3 units. So, and especially if the Eagles are going to be sitting their players, yeah, the wheels are slowly coming off. I think for the Eagles, they're not going to. I mean, maybe they'll get to the second round, like you said, but I don't see them going any farther than that, barring some substantial turnaround. But yeah, I like the Giants here.
Jalen Hurts is the devil.
I love it when Coach comes there, he's like, they're eating that giant snake.
Yeah. He's
like, what part of the snake do you think? And he's like, I've had a guess. I'd say it's probably the knee. What a great movie! What a great movie! That's one of my favorite movies of all time. I could it never gets old. It never gets old.
It's kind of fresh in my mind because when we're at the hospital for my daughter being born, for some reason the TV had an Adam Sandler marathon. Like the whole day, nothing but Adam Sandler movies. I love Adam Sandler movies. So.
Oh yeah, same. That's awesome.
And it's funny how many similar actors he has in different movies.
I always love that.
It's like all his friends that he has in different movies. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Cal says Eagles need a win, not for seeding, but for some momentum. Maybe not like a win though, but like maybe they just need like a good couple of drives on both sides of the ball. Like if they have like a first quarter, they score 2 touchdowns and they don't allow any points. Nick Sirianni could be like, okay, yeah, we're looking good here. Let's pull our guys. I think something like that could happen. I'm not so sure the Eagles' second unit on defense can play worse than the starters. It's a good point. They've been pretty bad. Wait, who's giving Tyrod the pain injection before the game? Could worry about this. Yeah, it's a great point. You don't want that same doctor that they had in the Carter's game. Mama says football was double. What's really nice, the Eagles would be almost surely be a 3 or 4 point favorites. Yeah, that's what you're saying. I don't think the NFC South's going to win the game. It's like Eagles have been terrible, but the NFC South teams have also been terrible, even more terrible.
The 7-9 Seahawks beat the Saints.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Yeah, Chris, we're on the same level.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
Dr. Quacky's
I'll be there. Yeah, I'm the team physician.
got a John Holmes size unit on the Eagles. I'm trying to visualize
the possibility of Arthur Smith. Oh, believe it, Slew. It could happen. Come into a television set near you next week.
Chris says, Walt and Cracky are great together, but I don't know if you'll ever top the Mega Man conversation.
We're gonna get to it in the off season. We're gonna
Sure. I want to make like a starting lineup for the NFL using Mega Man characters or Mega Man bosses.
That'll be a fun show. We'll definitely do it in the off season. And for those who aren't aware, I can beat Mega Man X in like 58 minutes. I have a long play on my chip, but I haven't run it in a long time. But anyways, multi-talented, you know.
Yeah, well, it's funny that you say we're great together. We've been friends since 2004, right?
2004, yeah.
Yeah, and like we always just have these long conversations on the phone anyway, so it makes sense. But
yeah, we've talked about, could we do 24 hours straight? We definitely could. I think no problem. We've had 6-hour conversations.
We could just do 24 hours on just video games. Like, or we can do 24 hours of video game music.
Yeah, it's true. Geez, we should host I wanted to host this thing called a Quackathon, where I just talk for 24 hours straight, and people give me money for it. That sounds reasonable, right?
That sounds fun.
The Quackathon. Everyone's gonna have a great time. I'll be out here slinging jokes. And I'll bring guests on. You're all invited. I'll let you know when I'll send you a save the date.
Sounds good. I'll have to see my availability. It'll be at night, because if it's too long, my wife will have some issues with the kids. unless my son is able to be a guest, but he can't sit still for more than 2 minutes. So,
right.
Have you guys ever watched Uncut Gems? I've heard that movie. I've never seen it. This Sandler movie about the NBA something. Yeah, I've never seen it, but I did want to see it, just never got to it for some reason. The most stressful movie I ever watched. Okay, I'll have to check it out. Mega Man is a classic. Mega Man 2, my favorite of all time. 2, 3, 4, my 3 favorites, and even music wise, I think 2, 3, 4. One. Go ahead.
No, yeah, 2 and 3 are for gameplay and music are iconic to me.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, we'll get to it later. Let's get through these games before we get complaints. Hopefully Tyra doesn't get a B12 injection from Rafael Palmeiro. Chris says, I would continue instigating the Mega Man agenda. Okay.
All right.
Team Mega Man versus Mega Man X. I am Team Mega Man. I assume you're Mega Man X as you do the speed runs of Mega Man X.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to be by default too. I mean, I put respect on both the names, you know.
I wonder if it's the age thing, because like I am 4 years older than you, and so like when I was 7, I was playing Mega Man 2, or 7 or 8,
right?
And so like I think when you were that age, you were playing Mega Man X. So I think what if that has to do with it, you know?
You are 4 years older than I. Okay, yeah, no, that could be it. But I remember playing Mega Man 2 and 3 when I was 7 years old. So you would have been like 11.
Right. Yeah, I had my Super Nintendo when I was 11.
It definitely could have something to do with it.
Yeah. When I was 11, I had my friend Will was over. My parents had a pool in the backyard, so we're just hanging out. And my dad comes home, and like he told me before, he's like, we're gonna get a Super Nintendo, and he goes, he's like, well, let's go to the Toys R Us and get the Super Nintendo. And my friend Will's like, oh, my parents won't let me go anywhere. So he's like, so it's either either you go or we keep hanging out. I'm like, let's go get the Super Nintendo. See you.
Dude, that's awesome.
I don't think we hung out after that ever again.
He's watching right now.
I know. He's like crying. He's like, that's one of my. He's like in therapy. Like he's like, my friend when he was 11 wanted a Super Nintendo more than me.
And now he's famous. He's got this website. Oh geez, let's move on before the crowd gets
All right, I'll say is Lord help me. I'm betting you saved my Bears for pick of the month. Maybe we'll get to it. 20th anniversary of
Yeah.
Walt and Quacky. Yeah, it is 20.
Yes.
Yeah, it is 20 years. How about that? Actually, technically 20 years as of September.
September.
Yeah, because it was my 5th year and your freshman year, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now I'm having Jerry Lewis marathons. Yeah. Schindler's List was pretty stressful. Yeah. McDermott's preferred pregame movie.
Oh my god.
Yeah. My wife and I play Mega Man. She enjoyed my blue helmet.
We're gonna get canceled, man.
I can't get canceled.
I know. I'm just kidding.
People have tried to cancel me so many times. It doesn't work. You can't. Well, first of all, you can't get canceled if you don't want to get canceled. Like, never apologize to those scumbags. And like, second, like if you fund your own thing and you own your business and you can't fire yourself, you certainly can't get canceled.
Right. True.
Chris says, I remember being very confused of releasing Mega Man X. I completely agree. How do we go from 6 to 10? Yeah, I was so confused by that too.
Plus
but then he's
like all the other 23 letters of the alphabet too, you know, huh?
Yeah. And then you have to realize, that's not 10. That's not the Roman numeral. This is just X.
Yeah.
I bought my Super Nintendo on October 8th, 1992.
That's cool that you remember that, Chris. That's really awesome.
Yeah, it was the summer for me because we're at the pool. Like I said, it was for my birthday. It was like August. So, maybe one Quacky can make a friendship slideshow with Friends Forever from the Zach Attack.
Yeah. We'll work on that for next show.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to that Bears game. Bears at Packers. This could be my pick of the month. Dude, I've been on the Bears all the second half of the year. People still don't realize how good this Bears team is. Like, I had Lions fans criticizing me on Twitter for putting the Bears ahead of the Lions. I'm like, wait a second here. Like, the first game, the Bears are up the entire game. They lose at the end. Okay. And then 2 weeks later, the Bears absolutely destroy you. Like, how do you have the gall to say that you're better than the Bears? Like, you're not. The Bears in the second half of the year are 4-2 ever since Justin Fields came back and Montez Sweat's been there. Their 2 losses was that Detroit game where they easily could have won. And the second was that Browns game where they were up 17-3. They lost at the end, but they still could have won that Hail Mary. Like, there's a parallel universe out there where the Bears are 6-0 with Fields and Sweat, and they've had some really impressive wins. The Sharps are even against them last week, and they destroyed Atlanta. Not that beating Atlanta is like a great feat or anything, but here they have the Packers, who have been horrible for many games in the second half of the year. They lost to the Giants. They gave Tommy DeVito NFC Player of the Week. Like, this defense is terrible. Their offense looked great last week, but the Bears defense is legit. I think the Bears could shut them down. And this is Aurora Snowmo game number 3. Packers need to win. Bears have been eliminated, and this kind of reminds me. Jacob agreed. I'm kind of curious if you agree with this too. This reminds me of last year's finale, the regular season finale. The Lions, the Packers, where the Lions were eliminated. Everyone had thought the Packers would win because they had something to play for, and the Lions like, no. It's that old saying in like every cartoon. If I'm going down, I'm taking you with me. They drug them down into the depths of the offseason. I think the Bears are going to do the same thing once again to the Packers in Week 18. What do you think about this one?
Well, you know how I am with picking Packers games. It's well noted. Yeah, Chuck, that was a good one, man. That was freaking hilarious. I love the Bears. I really love the Bears here. But you all know, take that for what it's worth. I mean, for everything that Walt said, I've been playing Bears defense. I've said it before, and I'll keep saying I've been playing Bears defense. Well, actually, I didn't play lineup last week, but on DFS. This team is really good. We're going to talk about this Bears team on Quacky's Corner later, too. I've got like 4 points on Quacky's Corner. These kids look like they like to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun with it, but nice. I love the Bears here. I mean, y'all know how I feel about, for those who may not know, I'm a lifelong Green Bay Packers fan, and I have swung and missed at almost every Packers game this season. I've never been so bad at handicapping my own team. So while that's pretty well documented already, I'll let the viewers who don't know make them aware. I love the Bears here. Take that for what it's worth. I mean, I couldn't have said. I mean, Walt, all your points. I couldn't have said it better. And again, they're gonna come up again here later in the show. So 5 units on the Bears for me here.
Awesome, nice. Chris says, I really hope the Lions are enjoying the season because the Bears are set up to overtake the North to the long haul. I completely agree with that. And so I'm excited to hear your Quacky's Corner takes. Alan asking, thoughts on the Bears keeping Fields versus drafting a new quarterback? It's a tough one because Fields has been very good. So if you draft a quarterback and he sucks, you're taking that risk on. However, that new quarterback you're not going to have to pay him like you have to pay Fields. You're going to get draft picks for Fields, and I guess you get draft picks for the top pick too. But like you get 4 years of a rookie quarterback contract, and like even if the quarterback's not that good, like as long as he's not Bryce Young bad, you're going to be in a great position because the Bears are going to have so much money to spend. Like they could have like a Pro Bowl roster, like kind of like the Niners have with Brock Purdy, like the same sort of deal. And so as long as they get a guy who can be a game manager, I think you do that. I think what you do is, I think you trade Fields, you draft whichever quarterback you like the most. I assume Caleb Williams, and then you get a very good veteran backup quarterback. You try to get like the best veteran backup quarterback you can, maybe like a Jacoby Brissett or a Gardner Minshew. So just in case this quarterback fails, you get like a great a backup option. And so that's what I would do because paying Fields is a little risky. Like he's not that refined as a passer. He's a great runner, but like that could go away. Like these scrambling quarterbacks, they come and go. But I do like Fields. I like Fields coming out. Like, so if the Bears decide to keep Fields, I don't think it's a terrible move. I think you can make the argument there. But I think what I would personally do is draft a quarterback. What do you think?
I think they should keep him. I mean,
really?
this defense is Sweat has been such a force since he joined. What a great signing there. I just like the thing with like I don't want to get into it too much because drafts aren't really my MO. I think I could even make the argument for them to as far as like having to pay Fields, there's that, but like he's a good enough like dual threat quarterback. That defense is really, really good. Like, and this team is just getting better and better. Like, I don't think they need. I don't know. I mean, if they could like maybe trade the pick, the first pick again, though, as you and Jacob mentioned, that would be kind of a weird move to trade the number 1 pick twice. But I mean, I think they're good enough, and if they get more picks and just can add more depth and bulk up at the positions they need to. Geez, I mean, I guess whether they trade him and get a new quarterback or someone else, I mean, I think that they can. I think they're going to succeed either way, but I don't know. Like Fields, I'd like to see him succeed there. So I guess maybe I'm biased a little bit, but I think they could do just as well keeping him too. So.
Mm-hmm. I think, I think what you said at the end makes perfect sense. Like they're going to be successful no matter what they do because they're so set up. They're set up so well. I just think the upside is like, what if they land like with Caleb Williams? What if they land the franchise quarterback? Like for 4 years, they get this cheap option and they get to have like anything they want with all this money. Like that, you're talking multi Super Bowl wins, I think. That point.
Right. I guess the fear is what if they do that, and that would be great, but then what if they draft a Bryce Young? And again, I'm not the jury's still out on Bryce Young. It's only been 1 year. A lot of great quarterbacks did not do well their first year, so I'm not giving up on him. But I guess that's my counter argument.
Yeah, I mean certainly that could happen, but that's what I was saying. Like get a Jacoby Brissett, get a Gardner Minshew. So like those like Jimmy Garoppolo went to a Super Bowl. Like you can get Jimmy Garoppolo if you want. Just so you can get a veteran quarterback who's a good game manager. So just in case that quarterback fails, you have like a good fallback option.
Mm-hmm.
So where I says, love the Bears. Worried about Watson returning for Quacky's pack. I'd be more worried about Jaden Reed. This guy has been a stud, and he left the game last week with a chest injury. He may not play, and the Bears are weaker to the slot than outside receivers. So like if Jaden Reed's out, that's a big boost for the Bears. And Watson may not be 100% either. Chris says, was discussed a bit on Tuesday, Alan. I personally think it comes down to what kind of offer Chicago gets, as this projects to be a loaded quarterback class. Yeah. That's true. There are a lot of options in this draft, including Penix and Nix, as Alan asks. Maybe take him at 10. So I think you can get Bo Nix in the second round. Like both these guys are 24 years old as of after the draft. So they're kind of old. They're kind of old for quarterbacks. Like, and so teams might be worried about their upside. Teams might be worried about Penix's injury history too. We had Penix in the second round. Now I think that like his performances lately could get him in the first round. So maybe him at 10. But like I think even if you trade down, you might be able to get him. But I don't know. At the very least, you can get Nix in the second round. You can get a couple other guys in the second round too.
Mike, this is a good point. I think Green Bay, of all the Snowmo games, Green Bay is the poster child of Snowmo games. Take Bears money line.
Yeah, I think Bears and Panthers are my two favorite Snowmo games. Yeah, Chris was saying, yeah, I don't think Nix is a first round prospect. Why not do both? Keep Fields for one more prove it year and draft his replacement? Because like I don't know. I feel like that you need to use the resources better because, like, if you keep Fields and you draft a quarterback, like you're missing out on like Marvin Harrison Jr. or like an elite offensive lineman or edge rusher. You know, I think you need to just do one or the other. I don't like playing it safe. I think you have to go one or the other. And the best pull off an RG3 type trade possibly. Yeah, I think they're going to get a lot for like they're either the draft pick or they're going to get less for Fields, obviously, but they could get a lot in the trade. I've been to every NFL stadium but one in Miami.
Wow.
Lambeau and Arrowhead have been my best game day experience at fans. That's pretty cool. I've only been to one. I've only been to one NFL stadium. I've driven by a bunch, but I was at actually I should correct myself. I've actually been to 0 NFL stadiums because when I went to the Eagles game, that was the old Veterans Stadium. So I have not been to the new one. So I mean, I do all my work at home. It's hard for me to go to a game just because like I do all my work here, you know.
Yeah, I've only been to 3.
Oh yeah, which ones?
Yeah, Eagles, Tampa, and Jacksonville. I think. Yeah, that's all I've been to.
Okay. Maybe Penix or Nix in the second round. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Then again, the moment Chicago drafts another quarterback, trade Fields' value plummets, so tricky spot. I guess so. I mean, there's so many bad quarterbacks in the NFL. I still like maybe plummets a little bit, but I don't think it goes that far. Teams I think will still want Fields at the very least. Like they can keep Fields as leverage and then trade him when a quarterback gets injured. And I'm thinking back to what the Eagles did with Sam Bradford when they drafted Carson Wentz. They actually got a lot for Sam Bradford. They got a first round pick, so just wait. They don't have to do it right away. They can wait it out. Giants Jets fans are the worst, by the way. I don't know. I know some Jets and Giants fans who are nice people, but like, yeah, I don't know. I think like collectively, I don't know. It is New Jersey, the armpit of America. Seahawks at the Cardinals is the next one. This is the final Aurora Snowmo game. Seattle needs to win. Obviously, Arizona, nothing to play for. In fact, people were saying that Arizona won the Super Bowl. I get like maybe that's true, but like I think they would love to knock out Seattle here. Kyler Murray's been playing better. Like he's further away from his injury. Arizona's defense does suck though, so I think Seattle's offense is going to do pretty well. But you have James Conner against Seattle's defense. Seattle can't stop the run. We just saw what happened last week. So I like Arizona here. I think this is actually my least favorite Aurora Snowmo game, just because like Arizona is coming off that big win. So like there is a chance that they might take this game off, but I do think that they would love to knock off Seattle. What do you think?
Well, it's interesting you say that because this is maybe next to Green Bay, which is my favorite Snowmo game. This one's probably second. Okay. The Seahawks only beat the Eagles by 3, and they only beat the Titans by 3. Shame on you. Your team sucks. Come on, you can only beat. I know the Eagles are living off, brand name recognition, but that does kind of make me hesitant. What you said is that the fact that the Cardinals are coming off an outright win, but if it were any team other than the Eagles, it would play a little heavier for me here because it's the Eagles and our personal history, our personal knowledge of how much they really kind of own the Eagles. I like the Cardinals here, maybe for a unit or two. I don't know. The Seahawks have just kind of been, I don't know. The Cardinals have been such a weird team all year. They look terrible, but then they'll beat like some good teams, depending on which win you're looking at. But I think they could play spoiler. I think the Cardinals. I mean, I'll take the points for a unit or two, but I like the Cardinals. I like the Cardinals here for sure.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that you were more bullish on them. Here's the thing that's bothering me. When the Cardinals were beating the Eagles in the fourth quarter, they I don't know if you saw this, but they shot to the GM of the Cardinals, and he looked sick to his stomach. Like he did not look like he was having a good time. Because I know for a fact, I said this on Tuesday. So like the one source I have is like with the Cardinals, and he told me that the Cardinals were not going to take a quarterback, even if with the first pick they're not going to take a quarterback. They wanted to trade down and get Marvin Harrison Jr. and like that was their plan all along. And like now they can't trade down, like so they lost all their value. And so like I think the GM was kind of pissed that they won the game. And so I wonder if he's going to tell the coach, he's like, hey, we're definitely not going to get Marvin Harrison Jr. if we win this game. Like we just want at least him now, So I wonder if Arizona is just going to kind of throw this game. To be honest, that's the only thing that bothers me here.
I thought you like he did not look like he was having a good time.
Seriously, just he looked like he wanted to throw up. This guy was like, I've never seen someone so unhappy that the team was winning.
Well, that maybe changes how I feel a little bit. So
yeah,
I'll reserve. I like the Cardinals a little less, but I'll still lean towards them. I'll say then.
Okay. All right. Next game. So now we get to the AFC West Marathon here. Broncos at the Raiders. Lions Raiders -3. No real opinion on this game. I see that the Sharps are on the Broncos. Like, what else is new? I guess why not one last hurrah? I guess, but I guess the one thing since I talked about this game on Tuesday is that Cortland Sutton is now practicing fully, which is a big deal. Like I thought he might be out. So, Jarrett Stidham, even with Sutton against the Raider defense, that bothers me. But then again, Aiden O'Connell is a 3-point favorite against the Broncos defense. I think the Raiders should be able to run the ball pretty well. So I'm inclined to take the Raiders, but I'm not going to bet this game. Not even close. What do you think?
I'm with you. Raiders, but not by much. Come on. The Broncos only beat Disco Stick and the Chargers 16-9. Get the crap out of my face with that nonsense. I don't know. This Raiders team, it seems like when I've been watching, they've been, they look pretty solid. We all are well aware of the folly of this Broncos team. I just, probably not going to touch it, but I am leaning Raiders here. So no strong opinion.
Yeah. Chris says the players that play hard for Antonio Pierce is well liked and is getting results. Yeah. Both facts are very motivating for players. Yeah, I could see that. But then again, I can see the Raiders winning by 1 or 2. It's gonna be a very low scoring game. Cover girl game. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think that's a cover girl game, let me show you Chiefs and Chargers.
Wait till you see what's behind door number 2 here.
Oh, it's not pretty. Chargers are favored by 3.5. So if there's any doubt that, if you didn't see the news, like you're like, wait, Mahomes plus 3.5. I wonder if it's like one better out there. It's like, oh, I'm getting Mahomes plus 3.5. This is great. No, it's gonna be Blaine Gabbert starting. So we're gonna see some passes with his eyes closed, I guess. Do you want to bet Easton Stick at -3.5, or do you want to take Blaine Gabbert? I'd pass. What do you think?
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna Slew, I think, saw my tweet last week. I'm gonna laugh really hard when the Chiefs lose their first playoff game. Oh, I can't wait.
Yep.
I was at the gas station a couple weeks ago. Here, I live in Jacksonville, and I saw a guy come out of the gas station, fellow customer, wearing a Jacksonville Jaguars Blaine Gabbert shirt.
Wow.
And I was like, and I said to him, I was like, hey man, I was like, love the shirt. And he was like, oh, like he chuckled. He was like, oh, thanks. So because of that, I'm going to go with the Chiefs here, just because of that man that I saw wearing the Blaine Gabbert shirt 3 days ago. Otherwise, I don't know. I hate this version of the Chiefs. I mean, big fan of Mahomes, of course, and Andy Reid. So not throwing any shade at any of the at what that team's been able to accomplish in this era, but this, I don't know. It's like the Chiefs and the Eagles call it the same disease. Like I guess the Super Bowl hangover or something. But I'll take the Chiefs here, but I'm not going to be surprised if they lose their first playoff game. This team is looking really bad at times, so I'll side with the Chiefs here, though.
I think your reasoning is better than mine. Let me actually, I didn't even give a side. It's like, hey, you want to bet this?
That's how much we don't care.
Look, I mean, you don't have to bet every game, you know.
Yeah.
Oops.
I'm sure everyone in the comments is itching to know. This is the game of the week, Walt. People are.
All right. Well, yeah, right. Anyway, Alan asking, can you please pop that pick up of Gabbert, one of my favorite all-time favorites? You ask and you shall receive. Here we go.
I'm not sure if I know what this picture is.
This was working. I don't know. Now, oh man, now this is a letdown. It just worked for me on the other thing. Let me. All right, it'll pop up soon. I promise. We'll get to it soon.
We still got things.
All right, so last game is. I just think my Chrome's not working here because it's not going down. Anyway, we'll get to the last game, which is Bills Dolphins. There's sharp money coming in on the Bills. Which is not a surprise. The Dolphins have a ton of injuries. And it's like they're just not healthy. Tua's banged up. Xavier Howard is injured. They're one of their starting cornerbacks. They lost another pass rusher, Bradley Chubb. They're already without Jalen Phillips. This Dolphins team is just kind of a mess. Like I liked them a few weeks ago. I thought they had a chance to win the Super Bowl even. Like now that they have so many injuries, I just don't really trust them. Jalen Waddle hasn't practiced as well. So I think the Bills are kind of like a sneaky team here because I think the people are putting way too much stock into the past two performances. Yeah, of course they're going to be flat against the Chargers after that game against Dallas. Like that was very obvious. And then the second game was against the Patriots where they allowed a kickoff return to start the game. So they're in a quick hole. Their defense played great, I thought, for the most part. And so like against the Dolphins who are banged up, I like the Bills. What do you think?
I like the Bills a lot here too. Other than the sharp money, I'm very surprised to see the money split pretty evenly as far as amount of bets. I love this Bills team. I think they're going to win pretty easily here. And maybe it's as far as the bets go, it's a little more even because they played a close game against the Chargers, or closer game against the Chargers and the Patriots. Maybe that's why it is. I think they're going to roll the Dolphins here. I'm high on this Bills team. I think they're going to go very far, and that's going to lead us into. I guess that'll segue nicely into Quacky's corner. What do we?
There we go.
Throwing passes with his eyes closed.
Yeah, who does it better than Blaine Gabbert? Look at that. He's not even sure where he's throwing the ball.
Nice. I've not seen that picture.
By the way, we know Charlie's friends with a coach who used to coach Blaine Gabbert, and he was not aware of this picture. We showed it to him. He's like, oh my, he's like, no wonder he's terrible.
Oh geez.
Yeah. So there you go.
John Sanders.
Kelsey's line dropped to 2.5. Something's off about this. Well, in fairness, the line was 1.5. It went up to 3, and the sharps took it up. So maybe it's just different sharp money bringing it down. But I did find that weird, though. I wonder if there's some sort of injury that we don't know about or something. The Bill. Let's look quickly. So there's really nothing with the Bills. Look at this. They're awful. The Dolphins, though, maybe there's more optimism with the Dolphins, which I guess like. They had I love this injury report. Like they put everyone on it. Jalen Waddle is DNP. Tua full. Not that means much because remember Burrow was full when he was injured. I don't know who else we're looking for. Tyreek Hill DNP. That's only personal matter. So who the hell knows what that could be? Yeah.
I guess. I mean, I guess his house was on fire or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Yeah. So, yeah, who knows what's going on there? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why the line's moving, but it did move the other way too. McDermott's saving his favorite Bin Laden quote for the pregame speech. Yes.
Oh my God.
This one for Osama.
Oh my god.
Oh my God, this is incredible.
Jeez, this is a good group. This is a good group.
Yes. Yeah, so fun. Sue S saying your 5 overrated teams all have played first and second place schedules, while underrated teams have all played third and fourth place schedules. That's interesting. I haven't thought about that. But like, are they that different? Like, what if the difference is like 3 games, right, in total? Because like it's the 2 games in the divisions that they don't play in full, and then the one non-conference game that they added, the 17th game. So it's only like a difference of three games. So I don't know. I don't know. I'll think about that though. It's an interesting point.
So what was McDermott thinking?
I don't know. Hill and Waddle like they're the Twin Towers.
Oh my God, we gotta move on before we get.
Yeah. All right.
I can't imagine what he was thinking when he was saying. Anyhow, sorry. Let's just move on.
I don't know. Anyway, look at this. Look how large we are here. Anyway, because I had to zoom in for that Gabbard picture. Might as well put that.
Yeah. Well, I need the lettering to be that big after I do all my eye tests on 1-800-contacts. So.
Jerome never lived it down. Yeah. All right.
Real quick, I was sorry. Think about with the contact. If anyone wears glasses, you ever go get an eye test and like you feel pressured, like you got to like buy like the $800 frames there. I'm not kidding you. This is a real. Well, maybe we can get them to sponsor us later. $39glasses.com. It's the only place I buy my. They start at $39. Don't spend money on frames. So that's my vision. I have vision here. My vision.
We'll have to get them as a sponsor.
Yeah, seriously,
dude. I real quick. I thought I was going blind on Sunday night. Because like after the games were over, and this again, like just barely getting any sleep with the kids. I said, all right, now the games are over. We're gonna take like a half-hour nap on the couch, and then I was gonna keep working. And again, like this is the reason why I hid my phone behind my laptop is because I must have turned the alarm off because I slept for like an hour and a half. But I woke up and like everything was like blurry and like I just couldn't see anything. And usually like my left eye, I can't really see much anyway. I have keratoconus in my left eye. My right eye is like 20/20, but I couldn't see anything. And so I was like, oh man, I was kept rubbing my eyes. I just couldn't see anything. And the next day my eyes are bloodshot because I was rubbing my eyes so much. And I was like, I told my wife, I was like, what? I don't know. I woke up and like from on the couch and like I just couldn't see anything. She's like, oh, I sprayed the couch with Febreze. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. It's like Febreze going against my eyes.
Oh my god. Jeez, you have. I didn't know that about your you. But your other eye is 50/50 or 20/20. I mean. Oh,
my right eye, yeah. As you can see here, I'm opening. Yeah, I can see everything perfectly. Everything's a blur. If you hold up some fingers, I wonder if I can see. Dude, I've noticed. Is that 3 or 4? Is that 3?
It's 2.
It's 2.
Sorry, I don't mean. I'm allowed to laugh because my vision is garbage.
I can't see anything out of my left eye.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that without my contacts. I actually went to last time I went to the actual optometrist. Not 1-800-contacts. I said to the guy, hey, to the doctor, I said, hey, if 20/20 is perfect vision, what's mine? He goes, we stopped keeping track after 2400. So that's how bad it is. So yeah, we can all go to the eye doctor. Yeah, that's what Walt and I are going to go to the optometrist to celebrate our 20th anniversary.
Yes. Yeah. No. It was 11 years ago. We had people who were on the forums of the site. They all met at my house, and we had this crazy weekend, like the crazy drinking weekend at the site at my house. But it is going to be the 25th anniversary of the site on November. So maybe we can celebrate at the optometrist's office.
1-800-Contacts headquarters.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we'll just show up. Like, who are you guys?
Did anyone get pregnant?
Stop having eye problems. I start taking alternating Tylenol, Advil. There you go. Yeah, well, sometimes there's 2 as best. We'll rush go tight. Yeah. That's definitely true.
You guys have been great. I mean, you're great every night. You guys are really slinging it. You really helped make it fun. We're loving it.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to have 20/20 vision both eyes, and like one day I just woke up in college, I couldn't see anything out of my left eye, and I went to the eye doctor. He's like, "Yeah, I have keratoconus." He's like, "You could
Oh my
have this
God.
corrected," and I'm like, "Is it gonna get worse?" He's like, "Not really." I'm like, "Well, what's the point? Like, I still see well in my right eye, you know." So I don't know. I don't know.
I think my left eye, like there's like, it's like, I feel like I have like a permanent like floater like in my eye or something.
Mhm.
Like I don't really notice it unless I focus on it. But like same thing. It's really not that bad at all. But I'm just like, whatever. Like I'll just
I could have. I could have gotten a monocle for my left eye. I thought that would have been cool.
yeah, Mr. Peanut over here.
All right. Let's get to Quacky's corner. I actually have something too about the Rams. You have 4 points. I wanna hear your points. And I teased mine. So let me go first. Unless you have something to say about the Rams. Do you have something to say about the Rams?
And yours is the same. That first one's one of mine. So yeah, go ahead and start.
All right, so Rams 66-1. Here's my elevator pitch to you guys. So metrics wise, the Rams are number 1 in the NFL. They are the only team in the NFL that is top 6 in offensive defense. They've been so good since they got Kyron Williams back and Matthew Stafford back. So like their record doesn't look good, but remember Stafford was injured for a while. Kyron Williams was out for a while. Cooper Kupp missed the first 4 games, and then he was banged up too for a while. They were missing offensive linemen. I know every team has injuries, but they were down a lot of their main guys, and they were losing games that they wouldn't lose now. So like their record, like while not very impressive, could be a lot better if they were healthy all year. So their recent results, like all really impressive. They beat the Browns 36-19, and we've seen how good the Browns have been since that result. They crushed the Cardinals 37-14. It's easy to laugh that one off. The Cardinals beat the Eagles. Cardinals also beat the Steelers. Like 2 teams that are, Eagles in the playoffs, Steelers battling for the playoffs. The Rams, like that was like so lopsided. It wasn't even close. Like the Rams just toyed with them. So the next week, that was that Browns game, 36-19. A little closer than that result says. But again, the Browns have been great since that game. Now this is the selling point here. The Ravens have clobbered the Niners. The Ravens have clobbered the Dolphins. However, when the Ravens play the Rams, it's 37-31 Ravens in overtime. It was decided on a punt return. So the Rams and Ravens went back and forth. That was a very even game. Yardage was about even. Yards per play in Baltimore's favor, but like not too much so. So like the Rams have played the Ravens better than any team recently. After that, the Rams beat the Redskins 28-20. Like 20-20, that's close. Remember, that was like a 28-3 game before Jacoby Brissett came in and had some touchdowns. So that was very lopsided. Rams outgained them 445-297. Rams beat the Saints by 8. Again, you were like, oh, the NFC South team, they should win by more. Rams were up 30-7 in that game before some late touchdowns. So like if there's a thing to knock the Rams on, it's that they allow garbage time points at the end. But in the playoffs, I don't know if they're going to do that. And then Rams 26, Giants 25 was last week's result. There was the kickoff, the punt return that the Giants scored that made this game closer than it seemed. And the Rams had some sloppy turnovers. They fumbled the ball at midfield. I think it was DeMarcus Robinson who did that. They had 3 turnovers, and the Giants played a clean game. And so I think with the turnovers, if that was more balanced, the Rams would have won by a wider margin. Plus, like the Rams are coming off a win that meant a lot. They were making the playoffs, so I think they kind of took the game a little easy. But this team, like I said, has been so impressive. The metrics back it up. Like I said, the only team in the NFL that's top 6 in both offense and defense. That's super impressive. They're 66-1. Like a team that's at the top of the metrics. Like for to get 66-1, that's at a BetMGM. At least it was a few days ago. I don't know. I think the value there is incredible. I think they could beat anyone if they could if they could take the Ravens to overtime in Baltimore, they could beat anyone. If they could clobber the Browns, they could beat anyone. So I love the Rams 66-1. I love the value there. Now they have to go on the road 3 times unless like they get the 6th seed and the 7th seed, obviously. But anyway, I think that they're a great bet and a great value. So.
Yeah, I already took it myself. I didn't get quite as good a number. It was 50-1 here at Hard Rock, the only real app that's available here in Florida. The Monopoly guy. Yeah, I see Colonel Clank. These are good. Yeah, I already took the. I mean, Walt, I couldn't have put it better, and I'll kind of take that play that you just mentioned there with the Rams a step further. I've also already taken Bills and Rams in the Super Bowl, 250-1. I got it. I checked on it's not on the. I got it on Hard Rock at 250-1 the other day. It's not. They took everything off the board as far as Super Bowl matchups now. I see it. I see that same matchup, Bills and Rams, on DraftKings at 125-1 earlier today. Can definitely happen. Could definitely happen. I mean, even at 125-1, I think it's good. I can't believe I got it at 251. So I put a little something on that. So there's my first pick for Quacky's Corner. I think the value is immense there. Bills and Rams to meet in the Super Bowl. Okay, so that Eagles-Giants game. I don't know if y'all have been seeing in the news. I really feel pretty strongly about this one. That Eagles-Giants game. Sterling Shepard anytime touchdown. I got it at 12-1. Shepard's only gotten 3 targets, or 1 target rather, in the last 3 games. So that this might sound a little, like what am I? Now I've really gone quacky, but. This is there was an emotional interview with Shepard. This is likely his last game with the Giants and maybe his last game ever in the NFL at home with a veteran quarterback like Tyrod Taylor, who's probably going to understand that might mean something to him. I love Shepard to score a touchdown at 12-1, anytime touchdown. Just seeing, he was very emotional that it might be his last game, especially that it's at home. So I'm definitely on it. I feel pretty good about that one. I like it at 12-1.
14-1 at Caesars, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, I'm stuck with the scraps here on Hard Rock app, so it is what it is. But okay, 2 more. Next year, I don't know if it's out anywhere. Not on anything I can see anywhere. Next year, Super Bowl. Bears to win Super Bowl, which should not be a surprise. To anyone based on how much we have been all over them the last few weeks, especially, and it seems like a lot of you in the comments share our sentiment. But here is the whopper of them all. What would be a better script than the Jets and the Packers in the Super Bowl next year? The Jets led by Aaron Rodgers versus the Bears, and then the narrative would be: does the dominance of Aaron Rodgers continue over what? And I mean. Look, what are the Jets really missing? A quarterback. The Bears have a great team. They're only going to get better. They're already really good. The Bears are. I always look for like a quintessential. They're the quintessential team on the come up for like the following year. It's always a team that like the Lions are a perfect example. They either make the playoffs and have look at the Eagles. First round exit, made the Super Bowl the following year. Mm-hmm. Lions again, they're a team on the come up. What, they finished 7-1? Now they won the division. Same thing. I see the same scale. When the Eagles won the Super Bowl back in 2017, same thing. I think they were 7-9 or something. They just missed the playoffs the year before. I see that same arc here with the Bears. What a narrative that would be! Aaron Rodgers versus the Bears in the Super Bowl, and the odds are going to be good whenever it comes out. So that's my big one here on Quacky's Corner. I just think the value on all of those is so immense. 4 of them are futures, but again, for this week, Sterling Shepard, anytime touchdown. I think they're going to try to send them off right in front of the home fans if they can help it against a terrible Eagles defense, and that's Quacky's Corner. Walt?
I like it. I like that narrative that you have Shepard. Glad you're on board with Rams, and Rams Bills is interesting. It's actually 130-1 on FanDuel. And then what was the other one?
Jets, Bears, and next year's Super Bowl. Bears to win next year's Super Bowl.
That when the Super Bowl odds come out, I was looking while you were talking. I was trying to find the Super Bowl odds for next year. I couldn't find them, but the Bears are going to be the first team I bet. And like I said before, when I was breaking down the Bears, people don't know how good this team is. The fact that the Bears are +3 this week, like they've been so great in the second half of the year. They should be favored in this game. And yet, like, people don't understand how good they are because, like, team record, they're 7-9. They're not that good. Like, team records mean nothing. In fact, you can use that as leverage because people read too much into team records, you know. So I love the Bears, betting the Bears to win the Super Bowl next year. I'm going to do that as soon as those odds are available.
Same. But geez,
Okay.
I mean, what do you think Jets versus Bears would be? I mean, I feel like that'd have to be like 200-1.
Yeah, probably around there.
Just pulling this number out of thin air, but
Probably around there. What John says, I think I agree with. He says Jets need to fix their offensive line. Rodgers will be teasing a return from an ACL tear all year on McAfee. Yeah, their offensive line is a huge concern, but they have what I think is going to be the 6th overall pick. This is a great tackle class, so they can get a really good tackle. If they do that and then add someone in free agency, like what if they get like Bakhtiari and then get an offensive lineman in the draft? Like suddenly their offensive line is going to look great. And then they get Rodgers back. I think there's a ton of upside here with the Jets. I agree. I think Bears Jets is very realistic for the Super Bowl. So I'll be looking to bet that too.
Awesome. We can talk about it all next year too.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that's about it. Do you want to plug or anything with you on Twitch or whatever?
Yeah, give me a follow if you're on TikTok. Is my biggest there's my Twitch. I've been doing a few. I took like 5 days off streaming. For those of you that are new, I am QuackyTake, as you can see, and I'm mostly a video game streamer now. But I'm fortunate enough that Walt thinks my handicapping is decent enough to have me on the show, which I really appreciate. But I just stream video games. Someone recently, I got a really great compliment recently. Someone said that my video game streams are like a FaceTime call. It's basically just me goofing around and playing. It's mediocre video games and wait, did I put it on there? Yeah, mediocre gameplay, top tier conversation. It's pretty much just like this, and I'm playing games in the back. TikTok at @Quacky_T. If you're on there, that's where I have the biggest following. But I'm starting to do streams on Twitch, so if you want to give me a follow there, and then soon, probably after the season starts, I'm going to really get my YouTube page going, and then Walt, maybe I'll have you on one of my shows as well here pretty soon. But I
look forward to it. I can't wait. I just wonder what video games we're going to be playing. We talked about Willie Beamish last week. Maybe
I was just looking through my I have like 20 open tabs here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what's this one? The Adventures of Willie Beamish.
Yeah, I do. It's like, I think that'd be a fun playthrough. Or like obviously Mega Man. I was the same before, 2, 3, 4, my favorite ones. I hate 1. The only reason I don't like 1 because they're those like those blocks that they keep going in and out. You have to remember the pattern. I hate that. That's so lame.
No, I remember that too. But anyhow, my streams are just basically like, I mean, people, they don't really come for the video games. It's similar to this show, like the show where you're just making live comments and I'm just interacting with you. So if you want to do that with me some more, come join the streams. We have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun.
Awesome. Yeah.
But yeah. And hey, this was, I think it's safe to say, well, this is maybe the best show, at least that you and I have done together. We had a lot of laughs. And what I got to give credit to, thank you to all the super chats, not the super quacks. So that might work too. And to those who didn't do the super chat, we really appreciate it. We appreciate each and every one of you. It's so much fun coming on here, and we love the interactions, people slinging the jokes. So grateful. So keep it coming, and we look forward to interacting with y'all more.
Yeah, Chris saying play Mega Man Soccer. I have not played Mega Man Soccer. I remember seeing that, just never got to it.
I rented it from Blockbuster or something once as a kid, but I was just like,
Once again, thanks so much, John, for the super chat, and thanks so much, Alan, for your super chat as well. Really appreciate it. Like I said, these YouTube ads, they weren't paying anything before New Year's Eve. Now they're paying even less. So yeah, really appreciate that, and we don't get paid really from this instead of like the dollar that we get from YouTube. Thanks YouTube. So anything would be appreciated, you guys. In future episodes. Thanks everyone for watching, commenting. I want to echo what Tom said. It's a great community I think we have here. It's a lot of fun. I look forward to these shows all the time. I'm sad that we didn't start the show earlier. But yeah, it's kind of I was in rough shape, so I was not really surprised. Oh, John, thank you so much. This is from the Advil. Thank you so much, John. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Again, want to echo what you said, Tom. Just love being on here with you guys, and looking forward to being on your show Tom, after the football season ends. So,
yeah, we're I really like the direction the show's heading in. So why not do it twice a week, just on different shows, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, looking forward to it. Anyway, once again, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. All that would mean a lot to us. And I'll be back on Saturday for Saturday Notes after the Saturday games. I'm sure I won't be sleeping through that just because you have to write about it. So after about 20 minutes after the second game's over on Saturday, I'll be on. So looking forward to that. Going to be talking about props. I'm not going to have a prop from every game because some of these games are meaningless and starters aren't going to be playing, but props for most of the games and Saturday Notes. So I'll be talking to you guys then. Tom, always glad to do this with you. It's our final regular season show of the year, but we will be back for the playoffs next week, and we'll be covering 6 games. So there'll be fewer games and more tomfoolery. I'm sure.
Yeah. Perfect. I look forward to it. So thanks so much, everyone. Had a great time with you.
Yeah, thanks so much, everyone, and I'll talk to you